Why is Instacart the holiday rescue app? Because you can get all your seasonal decor delivered instead of having to drive to 12 different stores. Candles and candy canes? Delivered. Wreaths and reindeer? Delivered. Lights from Lowe's? Delivered. And since I know you're going to ask, inflatable snowman? Delivered. So this season, stay in and get decked out. Download Instacart, the holiday rescue app, to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. $10 minimum per order. Additional terms apply.
Looking to give the gift of pleasure? Add a little high heat to keep the desire burning. Or maybe you just need a little self-care. Come to Lovers for the best lingerie and toys to keep things hot this holiday. Save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow Rewards. Just mention LOVE20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow Rewards membership until November 30th. Some exclusions apply.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3,986. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my cock, Montgomery. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, it is the random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: soup and sandwiches. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
Driggity John. All right, here we go. Researchers suggest that the best way to wake up is a little extra creamer. Baby. Meanwhile, a mother of 4 is upset with a parking space and decides to ruin someone's Beamer. $1.5 million in cocaine found in a man's wheelchair. A woman calls in fake shooting as her friends she wanted to spare. And a funeral home director handles another lifeless body. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, a 4-day work week. Work from home. 3 cups of coffee. These are some of the suggestions for ways to boost work productivity. Paying people a reasonable salary, suspiciously absent from the list. But, oh yeah, somehow that didn't come up. However, there's a new survey out of Britain. They offer a new insight on how to boost your productivity at work. You see, 75% of Brits confess to feeling more productive and energized after climaxing. Now, whether it's with a sex partner or some solo loving, apparently we do better at work. And they say if you can't fit in an orgasm before work, just know that 7.5 million Brits admitted to masturbating at work. Oh, admitted to. That means 12 million Brits have masturbated at work. Now, we used to work with a guy that simply brought in a stack of porn magazines for that very reason. Then people would surf porn on the work computer before finally having the decency to use their phone and go hide in the bathroom stall. Now, for those people who rely solely on their quote-unquote mental spank bank for those moments, bad news. I'm speaking to you, Ted. If you do rely on the 1970s for your masturbatory needs, Suzanne Summers passed away this weekend. Now, I know you know, she was 76-year-old. And actually, we have a list of female sex symbols by decade, starting from the 1960s. And I tend to agree with each and every one they showed. But fellas, we also have poll results from what women find sexy on men. Yeah. So as a hint, wear glasses, undo your top 2 buttons, and in all cases, avoid wearing Birkenstocks. Now, we'll share the full results later, but it's just one of the many stories that we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
To be a part of the big show, the random question, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Getting older means a world of change, but some things still stay the same, like being at risk for type 1 diabetes, because type 1 can happen at any age. So screen it like you mean it. If just one person in your family has type 1, you're up to 15 times more likely to get it too. And 50% of type 1 diagnoses happen after the age of 18. So screen it like you mean it. Type 1 diabetes starts long before you need insulin, and one blood test could help you spot it early and lower the risk of serious complications like diabetic ketoacidosis, known as DKA. So don't get caught by surprise. Screen it like you mean it, because getting answers now can help you get prepared. The more you know, the more you can do. So don't wait. Talk to a doctor about how to get screened. Tap now or visit screenfortype1.com to learn more. Again, that's screenfortype1.com, and screen it like you mean it.
My mom taught me the importance of saving, and I wanted to pass that on to my kids.
That's Aisha, BECU member and mother of 3.
I think having the savings account has changed the way that the girls think about their money.
BECU knows that no matter the age, it's always a good time to save. With an early saver account, the money grows with your children, so they can learn to invest in their future. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Member paid for participation. Federally insured by NCUA.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the fellas, away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3,986. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The exciting return of your guess is as good as mine. Categories today. Feels kind of soupy outside as far as the weather is concerned. Mm-hmm. It's the soup season. So today, our categories, we have the top 10 most popular soups in the United States of America.
All right. Count stews and chilies or just soup?
It basically is soup. There's a couple on here that you could question in that, but yeah, it's basically just soups. Then we have the 22 best sandwiches in America. Now, we're only going to take the top 10, but these were voted on by the community online. And a lot of these people, believe it or not, were visitors from other countries.
Oh, okay.
Who came in. One person in particular did an entire sandwich tour of all the places that they visited in the United States, and they were here for a couple of years. And that was kind of their thing. They love sandwiches. They tried everything from a pork roll sandwich to a Pamani Brothers sandwich in Pittsburgh.
All right.
To, a po' boy in New Orleans. They touched them all. Pulled pork in North Carolina. Cheesesteaks in Philadelphia. Lobster rolls in Maine. You get the idea. So they came up with the 22 best sandwiches that you can get in the United States. So those are categories coming up with your guess is as good as mine.
Soup and sandwiches.
Soup and sandwiches.
That's right.
Man, that's a good dinner. Soup and a sandwich?
Hell yeah. I'm not eating that for dinner.
Not for dinner?
Really?
Am I sick?
No.
Then no.
Oh, I wouldn't hardly. I'll eat a sandwich anytime.
Yeah.
Well, food is food. So to me, I don't care when I eat it. I'll eat pancakes for lunch. Like, if I like the food, I'll eat it. Because the truth is, everyone has an idea. I understand that. And there are traditional dinner foods and all that. But for me, Food is whatever it is at the time you eat it. So if you eat a steak at 8 a.m., that's your breakfast. Doesn't matter what people think. That's your breakfast. I would not eat steak at 8 a.m., but I'd eat lasagna.
I did
at
a
8
couple
a.m.
weeks ago. It was pretty
Yeah,
wild.
I'm just saying, to me, soup and a sandwich and like a half sandwich just feels like a lunch meal.
Eat a whole sandwich.
Yeah.
I hate to have sandwich. Like, man, don't do this.
Small cup of soup.
Yeah, like you see it on the lunch menu. Generally at a restaurant, they're going to be like, or you can get our half sandwich and soup.
All right,
for dinner.
I always hate that they do that. Though. Like, no, I want the whole sandwich and the soup.
Well, they offer the whole
like,
deal.
you know, I want the whole sandwich,
They offer a
man.
lighter fare. I mean, if you can get a whole BLT and a cup of soup.
I would not get a BLT.
You would not get a BLT?
Well, I'd get the B. I could hold the L and the T. That's the only reason why. I know it's a classic. I just don't like lettuce and tomatoes. Yeah, just hold the L and the T. Yeah.
Well, look, I get BLTs without the T. At the end of the day, it's like it's bacon, lettuce, and mayonnaise.
I mean, it's real simple, man.
Well, if you're getting a French dip, you basically are getting soup in a sandwich.
You kind of are. That's a thick one.
In a weird way. What else do we have for you today? As we do every Monday through Friday, we head on over exclusively to the Odyssey app. Oh, boy, you get more Men's Room Monday through Friday with a Men's Room Happy Hour. And we've got some props coming up from the weekend. Pretty fun weekend. Went by a little bit too quickly, but either way, some good stuff in there. If you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. It's absolutely free. There's a Men's Room Happy Hour channel. And that's where we go live about 6-ish, 6:03. We just got to do a couple technical things and switch stuff around. But we'll see you at 6 o'clock tonight for the Men's Room Happy Hour. And some props from the weekend. What else do we have for you today? Oh, today is the day that we do our random question. 206-803-ROD.
Random. So I was reading the text there. So Steve is a no steak and eggs guy. For probably not, man. Probably not.
I mean,
it's not a bad combination. It's really not. I've had it before. For me, personally, I have no problem with people that eat it. For me, it's just too heavy for breakfast if I plan on doing other things.
I mean, the only time we ever had steak and eggs was like, sometimes my dad would get fired up on like a holiday.
Sure,
And
holidays,
have,
I feel like rules go out the window a little bit.
But steak and eggs doesn't feel too heavy. But that's my beef. But it's just protein. That's my beef with like...
Pun intended.
That's my beef with like sausage and, or biscuits and gravy.
Oh, just too heavy?
To me, it's just way too heavy.
You know what? Look, I love biscuits and gravy, but to your point, 9 times out of 10, I eat it for dinner. And like this is the weather where I start rocking it for dinner.
I do an old man breakfast at least once or twice a week.
Let me guess: toast, bacon, and an egg of some kind.
This past weekend, I got scrambled eggs with a fried piece of kielbasa.
Okay,
those on the side. It was fantastic. It was.
I'm telling you, when you get older, for some reason, I've gone back to more basic breakfast. So at home, if I go out, I'll get something different. But at home, like 2 pieces of toast, bacon, fried egg.
Well, that's one thing about breakfast, man. They throw you a ton compared to any other meal. They throw you so much more food. It's a big thing of hash browns. It's a couple of eggs. Would you like a side of fruit?
And how many eggs would you like? We're going to do the 6-egg omelet.
What kind of meat do you want? Do you want ham? Do you want bacon? Do you want sausage? Do you have all these different things? Do you want toast? Do you want a muffin? Do you want a bagel?
Yeah, you're right. Lunch and dinner, they're like, you will get what we offer, and that is it.
I mean,
breakfast they loosen up.
Breakfast, they've got an oval-sized plate
to fit all the crap on
out there. It's like Thanksgiving in the morning.
And then you still get a side plate.
Yeah.
Like, just don't put your bacon that you ordered on a side plate because it can't fit on this otherwise
but
big
it's still like $12-13.
Hey, man, it's economical.
It's not a bad deal. And breakfast for dinner, one of my all-time favorites.
We're doing that tonight.
Are you doing breakfast for dinner?
Well, we were trying to figure out what do we want to do for dinner tonight. And I'm like, because the weather's kind of crappy. It was really bad this morning. And the wife just goes, what do I want breakfast for dinner? Which asking me that is ridiculous because my answer 100% of the time is, yeah. Ever since childhood, like, yep, you want to do breakfast for dinner? I am down.
Throw in some Men's Room sausage from Ollie's.
I did that last night.
I did it yesterday morning. We had pancakes and Ollie's Men's Room sausage.
I used the Men's Room sausage last night for a little homemade jambalaya. Tremendous.
I might do the sausage tonight then.
I'm telling you, man, this is the time of the year, in my opinion, that it does best.
All right.
But enough breakfast. Ted, biscuits, and gravy is my special. And landed me and my wife.
Just get a half order.
Hey,
Just
look,
get one biscuit.
Don't get me wrong. I like biscuits and gravy. I'm just saying, if it's a Saturday and I'm going to go do something, I'm out.
I think the rule should be, am I going to do something after I eat this?
If it's a Sunday morning and I'm literally going to sit on my couch and watch football, I'll get biscuits and gravy. Yeah. But like, look, I ain't a farmer. I'm not in the army. I don't need that kind of breakfast.
No.
We don't do enough to justify.
How about chicken fried steak smothered in gravy?
I don't know that I've ever had one.
It's
my
great.
dad used to order it all the time, and my mom was so disgusted every time he ordered it.
But they pound it a lot thinner.
Because he would order it at dinner and stuff. He loved it.
I did too.
But I don't order them. Even when I see
it's a piece of fried chicken with gravy on top.
It's a piece of fried steak. See?
Well, I mean, it's chicken.
I mean, it's fried chicken batter, but it's beef inside.
Well, they have beef and
Surprise.
chicken, depending on what you want. So
Don't they just call that fried chicken?
Then they call it chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried chicken.
I don't know why.
Chicken fried chicken is just fried chicken.
Chicken fried steak.
I know
Now,
there's
if it's a
fried
chicken fried steak, it
It's
has to be beef. That's the point of
But
it.
if they do chicken fried chicken, they're like, that's fried chicken. So if you get a chicken fried steak, it's steak. But like I said, they pound it out so thin, you're not like getting, a big tomahawk or something like that. Either way, it's all good, man. Okay. It's all good.
Now I'm hungry.
That's why I hate these conversations. Hello, Devin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Devin, hang on 1 second. I'm reading one more text.
Oh, here we go.
When it says breakfast for dinner makes me feel poor. Well, listen, I've been poor. I was happy to eat breakfast for dinner when I was poor. I'm happy to eat breakfast for dinner now. It's all good, man.
Makes you feel
And
poor.
if it makes you feel better, the price of eggs has gone up. So there you go.
Well, also, dude, I don't make a lot of breakfast foods outside of, I just like scrambled eggs.
They
You're
should
right.
make me a breakfast sandwich burrito.
Oh yeah, breakfast sandwich. That's my new thing. But I mean, I'm with you. I could go home right now and just eat 4 scrambled eggs and bacon.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. All right, Devin, let's go with this one on the random question. Who is or was your personal sex symbol? Maybe it was when you were growing up and coming into bloom there, or maybe it's just someone that you find to be attractive now. Who would you say was your sex symbol growing up or even now?
Sure. I remember a couple pictures that came out of that one NASCAR lady racer. I don't remember her name.
Danica Patrick?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, she's the one.
Did it get you interested in NASCAR suddenly?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I watched a couple of her races. I was getting hopeful and,
Didn't she start, Ted, somewhere else? Wasn't she
What's
something
that?
else? Like F1 or not F1, but...
No, she might have started open wheel in IndyCar.
I think that sounds about right.
And then she moved over to...
What about now? If you've moved on from... Because it does kind of go by decade, it goes by age. And there's a few people that have always been about your age, so they stay sexy to you. For me, Alyssa Milano and Janet Jackson, right? They were kids. When I was a kid, I'm like, they're hot. We keep aging about the same. Still think they're hot.
I know I've been watching a couple of these music videos that came out. Definitely a big fan of Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga.
All right.
And, it's what it is.
If I were to watch the videos on mute, I find Ariana Grande very annoying, but I do find her hot. Lady Gaga, I find less annoying, but I'm not particularly attracted to her.
I think
You
she's
know what I'm
pretty
saying?
good. Yeah,
Really?
she's
Lady
pretty-
Gaga?
I do. And I saw her show, so maybe I'm a little bit
Maybe that
biased.
helps.
Based on the fact that she's amazing live. She's a great entertainer.
I've heard that. I've
Very
heard that.
talented.
I just contend none of us actually know what she looks like.
Lady Gaga. I've
There's
seen her
always so
once,
much
like
makeup and
makeup
stuff,
free.
yeah.
And I will say, I think she looks better without all the makeup. That said, it's because she wears so much that you're like halfway between Kiss and a normal person. I would say my first sex symbol, the first person I recognize where I realized that perhaps my penis does something other than urinate, Farrah Fawcett.
She was
and
a
it
big
was that
one.
poster
She was
she
a big
put
one.
out, and you know why, but like I just never looked at women that way. And then I
Also,
saw
I was only like 6 or 7.
yeah, I was like 7 years old, and I saw that poster of her, and I'm like, I can't exactly explain what I'm feeling, but I like the way I feel, and I know she has something to do with it. And then you kind of never lose sight of it, right? Now that you know that you find women attractive, like by decade, you keep going up.
Kids don't do posters anymore in the room, do they?
I mean, my
kids did not.
has a Rick and Morty painting. Like, that's
All right.
his base, which is cool, but it's like, it's not there for
It's
a
not a
sexual
poster.
grab.
It's not like he put it up with tape or he put thumbtacks into the wall like we did.
Nothing like, I mean, when he was little, it was like all superheroes and stuff, but now that he's, 11 years old, there's nothing, really.
Right, yeah. Reason we asked who was or is
Wait,
your
who was
personal
yours?
sex
Who was your
symbol?
first one?
Farrah Fawcett had to be up there. I was attracted to some, I found a Playboy with Raquel Welch in it.
I know that exact
My
issue.
stepfather had one of those, so I thought she was really, really pretty at the time.
I knew who she was before that, all right? And I'd seen her on TV doing interviews and things, and I knew she was an actress, but not doing movies I'm going to see as a kid. I know the exact issue of Playboy you're talking about, and I turned the corner on her. I
All
was
the
like,
Charlie's Angels.
Well, yeah.
Lindsay Wagner when she was the...
You were down with the Bionic Woman.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. I mean, she wasn't ugly.
No, not at all.
Wonder Woman.
Any woman... Oh,
Wonder
yeah.
Woman.
Linda Carter. Anyone that was up on a poster at the time, whether it be Cheryl Teagues.
Yep.
She was popular at the time. Heather Thomas. Do you remember her in the Red
She was,
Bikini?
what show was she? Yeah, I remember it because I had her
Maybe
poster.
T.J. Hooker?
Because she was wearing the pink bikini.
Or was that was Heather Locklear.
That was Heather Locklear, who was a smoke show back in the day as well.
Ted, I know you're going to touch on this coming up at TV Time with Ted. Suzanne Summers passed away. She was famous for Three's Company, as well as her many business endeavors, including the Thigh Master. Passed away at the age of 76 years old. She was battling breast cancer. She died Sunday morning. Her husband, Alan, her son, Bruce, and other family members were there. They gathered to celebrate her 77th birthday on Monday, today.
Damn.
Instead, they'll celebrate her extraordinary life and want to thank her millions of fans who followed and loved her so dearly. Now, I guess she got her first break on in the movie American Graffiti.
It's the woman in the car.
She was the woman in the Thunderbird, Richard Dreyfuss.
The movie came out in like 1973.
I don't remember the movie. I've looked up Suzanne Summers. And ironically, Saturday night, around like 11 or 12, like I was talking to some friends. We were just talking about kind of women you're in and this and that. And my one friend, she was like, where do you think it comes from? And I was like, probably Suzanne Summers.
Right.
So then we started down that path. And then, I woke up yesterday and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, here are some of the sex symbols by decades. We'll go back to the 50s. Obviously, got Marilyn Monroe, Betty Page, Sophia Loren.
Marilyn Monroe, there was always a photo of her at some sort in my house.
Okay. I mean, you could not escape a photo of her somewhere. Yeah, like women really
Well, there was this famous painting. It's like a diner, and it's like Marilyn Monroe, James Dean. There's like 4 of them.
All the people that have passed. Yeah.
Right, and then I don't know if it was my mom, but there was always a poster of Marilyn at some point in our basement.
Who else? Bridget Bardot, Raquel Welch, Grace Kelly. They were all sex symbols in the 50s.
I think I've caught one to all of them.
Moving on to the 70s. Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah.
Faye Dunaway.
Yeah.
I don't remember her too much. Catherine Bach. She played on Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Ted remembers.
Kim Basinger.
Yep.
Of course.
In the 80s, Brooke Shields. Again, Kim Basinger. Bo Derek and Christy Brinkley.
Ooh, Bo Derek, man. Yeah, sorry. Just
Christy Brinkley, another beautiful woman back in the day.
She was, but she didn't go Playboy.
Nah, she was an Uptown girl.
90s, Sharon Stone, Cindy Crawford, and Kate Moss.
Kate Moss,
I know. She was a huge model.
She's great, but I was never a big model person.
In the 2000s, they say Angelina Jolie, Monica Bellucci, Megan Fox, Scarlett Johansson, and Jessica Alba.
Are we just skipping over Pamela Anderson?
Look, a few of them get skipped over. Just all right.
In the 2010s,
Jesus Christ, White.
Mila Kunis, Blake Lively, Leighton Meester. Leighton Meester, anybody?
I know the name, but I couldn't tell you who she is or what she does.
Blake Lively is it's uncomfortable hot.
Is this all from seeing her in the press box a couple weeks?
Yeah.
I just don't remember her being that voluptuous. And she was already smoking hot, but it's uncomfortable.
More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
Therapy is known to be extremely helpful. But have you ever tried eavesdropping on someone else's problems? Listen to the new podcast, Say More with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler as the world-renowned self-proclaimed couples therapist.
My mother will come over when she says she will. Knowing that she's always going to be there is really nice for me because I don't have to make my own cereal.
Listen to Say More with Dr. Sheila on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At OXO, there's a recipe for innovation. We create products that put a new spin on form and function. Add a small measure of convenience, a peel of comfort, and just a pop of freshness. Because no matter what you're making, we want to make it better. OXO. Better. Guaranteed.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Random question, 206-803-ROCK.
Oh, we got a few texts here, Miles.
Okay.
Based on the last question.
Oh, I bet.
People like to talk about the people they find attractive, so I'll start and go through the list. Luke Perry. I remember it was all the rage when Beverly Hills 90210 came out. Like that. Was it because he was a bad boy? Is it because they genuinely thought he was a good-looking dude? Because they didn't hire ugly people on the show, but he had that bad boy attitude, right?
Well, he was misunderstood.
Right. You're right, Ted. And I misspoke.
I still can't believe that guy's gone.
I know. And the crazy thing is, despite the character he played on that show, apparently in real life, like the nicest guy ever.
Yeah, that's all you heard about. But he was... You're right. It's not like Jason Priestley's unattractive.
No.
Luke Perry was just like the best looking guy on the show.
Because he was misunderstood and talked like this.
Yeah.
And
sideburns.
And he did have sideburns.
That was massive. I remember my brother, I wasn't really old enough, but like we watched it. My brother and all his friends had sideburns.
Because he had sideburns.
Yeah.
That was the style.
Growing up, says it was Lonnie Anderson. Never my type, but I know she was huge.
Oh, yeah.
See, Jennifer Aniston, aged so sexily and will always be the hottest.
Apparently, she has a sex scene now on the morning show.
And then I might start
believe is on
watching.
HBO. And she was with John Hamm, but she gets completely naked. Apparently, it's amazing.
Okay.
And Jennifer Aniston looks good, too.
It says, I knew I liked ladies when I saw Kate Beckinsale in the movie Van Helsing. I can see Kate Beckinsale in any scenario, and she's attractive. Linda Carter, who's Wonder Woman. This one, not everyone will know who she is, but if you're old enough, Christy McNichol. What show was she on?
I wanted to say Eight is Enough, but I don't
maybe. I remember her. I feel like she did bit parts in any show you watched in the 70s. Cheryl Ladd had a phenomenal poster back in the day, yes. Ted, if you want to see what Gaga looks like without the makeup, check out the remake of A Star is Born. She's hot, and if you like Italian chicks. Oh, and she shows her hoo-ha for a second. She does show boob and a little bit of hoo-ha.
Really?
That's my favorite part of the movie.
Really?
Otherwise, I didn't enjoy it. Being a 90s kid, when I was growing up, we had our standard sex symbols, Britney Spears, Jessica Simpson, but mine will always be Avril Lavigne. And damn, is she still a smoke show.
Yeah, I'd put Britney in there, Christina Aguilera.
Yep.
Baby Spice, Ginger Spice.
You had a pretty good decade for growing up there, man.
Janet Jackson looked good back then.
Let's see. Heather Thomas from the Fall Guys, straight up smoke show. Vanna White.
Paul Abdul looked good back then.
Had a crush on Cheryl.
I used to love Paula Abdul. She was on my wall.
We all liked Paula Abdul. And I didn't even listen to her music. Many Gen Xers were called Suzanne Summers as the mom on Step by Step.
That whole show was attractive because the kids were like my age or whatever.
Patrick Duffy, was he the dad?
He's the dad, right? She's on there. Like, I'd have to look at it again. But, like, when you're like a teenager, I remember being like, there's a lot of attractive people.
TV's Patrick Duffy?
TV's Patrick Duffy. That's how we can only be introduced. It says, Ted, 100% on Blake Lively. My wife closed my mouth for me when they panned to the box where she was with Taylor Swift. Unreal hot. Someone says Drew Barrymore. All right. Someone here says, I hate to be that guy, but don't you think it's weird that there's no women of color in the so-called list of sex symbols? I mean, come on, there's plenty of Asian women that are hot, Hispanic women that are gorgeous. What's up with that? I'm calling you out, Throw. Okay. Kerry Washington, Zoe Saldana, Beyonce, Halle Berry, Lisa Bonet, her daughter, what's her face, Zoe Kravitz. Like, I'm in the game, brother. Trust me. This is their list, not mine.
Well, I would say, too, for like me at that age, it was Little Kim. I always liked Trina more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was a lot of hot female rappers. And then, I mean, look, if you want to talk classic beauty in Hollywood, Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle Union, for sure. I'm glad she's doing those commercials now. Allie Larder. I remember her. Thank you for bringing her back. Let's see.
Tatum. We should be talking about why Hollywood doesn't put more black women in these commercials.
Yeah. Kelly LeBrock, but they always specify weird science. Times have changed. Winona Ryder.
I liked her.
And finally, Gwen Stefani. Who's that? Kelly LeBrock?
Winona Ryder.
I like Winona Ryder, too, although I will say...
You can tell, you know what you're getting into there.
I do now.
It's got the fuse is short on that firework.
Back in the day, I thought she was super hot. I still think she's hot now. But even when I watch Stranger Things, which I do, and she plays the mom on that show, I always wondered, did they even give her a script, or does she act that well?
She's just her.
Yeah, that's the feeling I get. Like, ooh, that's a lot of baggage there. But either way, yeah, still think she's hot. Hello, Spencer. Welcome to the men's room.
Aloha, bichola.
Hola.
Spencer, welcome to the program. Ran a question. Let's see what we have here for you. All right, Spencer, let's go with this one. Have you ever, quote, borrowed something from an employer?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you borrow? Is it meat from the butcher shop?
No, twine, actually. No, I can't take that. That would be stealing, and that's wrong. But I've taken twine. You know, we give that out to the customer. So
You've stolen butcher's twine?
Yeah.
Twine?
Yeah.
You don't take a steak home?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? No. You know what? I stole a cutting glove from an employer once.
And a cutting glove, okay.
And I don't know if it was stealing. It was more of, they let me have it. So, no, I can't, I can't really steal. It's just not in me. Earlier in my life, yes.
Well, what about earlier in your life then? Back in the times where you could?
Well, so I don't know if it's stealing, but I used to work at Wajimaya in the fish department, and I would call it quality testing because they have live oysters.
All right.
And you would have to make sure that they're full and, they're tasty, not too milky. So you pop out a couple, shoot them down. Or my favorite, which was the poke. Oh, dude, I hate so much poke.
I really think it depends on the restaurant's policy whether or not it's stealing, right? Some restaurants, most restaurants know, all right, our employees are going to eat a certain amount of the food that's ordered. They're not going to eat that out.
Don't you get a shift meal?
You can get a shift meal. Some places do, some places don't. I don't know anymore. I'm sure some places still do, but you can get your shift meal, but they're still going to eat some other stuff because shift meal might not be the shrimp that we know you have sitting back in the walk-in there. You know what I'm saying? That's all. So stuff like that. It's a guarantee that people are going to eat a certain amount of product. And most of the guys I worked for, and most of the places were ended because corporate. If it's a corporate place, they tend to come down on that stuff real hard. They'll tell you that is stealing. And I guess it is. Most independent places that don't have the money of the corporate, like, I know you're going to eat some of the food. Bartenders, I know you're going to sling some free drinks to your friends. Just keep it under control. And I feel like, at least in my experience, once you told your employees that, everyone did, right? So once you said, look, I know you're going to eat some food, just don't go crazy. Everyone would eat a little food, not go crazy. Bartenders, give out some free drinks, never went crazy. When you went to the corporate places and you tell people, don't do this, for some reason, you feel more... oh, dude, I'm baking a whole lasagna, you son of a bitch.
I worked at bars that there was like, don't give out anything for free, and we would rob it blind.
Yeah, of course.
But I've worked in other bars where they were basically like, you got like, 15 to 20% of like, give it out.
Yeah.
And honestly, it helps. Sometimes you're just going to talk to somebody randomly. You know what I mean? Like, Miles, you're a good bar customer. You might come in, you're just a nice dude, and I'll go, you know what, I'll give him a free shot. But oftentimes, too, like, the bartenders will kind of... You pick and choose, right? If I know you're coming in, I'm going to send you some free drinks. I know you tip well.
Mm-hmm. Right, and that's I always say, man, if it's a bar you plan on revisiting or frequenting, tip well, because they do remember. And a lot of times, even if they don't talk to you much, when you get your bill, they'll tell you, hey, man, I bought 2 beers for you. Like, cool.
Right, yeah.
I would
tip them well again.
I would say the only time I ever got in trouble was working the door, and we would go in the kitchen at night, because we were fat bastards. And just rip off like hunks of like bread loaves, and dip them in the honey mustard at night. And finally, the cook was like, "Look, I don't care that you're eating the food." He's like, "I have this set up for the morning."
Oh, you're going right. His prep,
right? He's like, "Stop messing with the honey mustard." It's like me and another dude that weighs 300 pounds. Like, it wasn't us. He's like, "You fat bastards! I know it's you guys."
It wasn't us. Yeah. Like I say, years ago, I've told this before. We worked at a seafood restaurant. I do not remember what the special was specifically. But it came with a demi-glace, which, if you don't know, basically is bone marrow boiled out, and you kind of make a topping or sauce for it. But that's the same consistency as pudding. One is savory, one is sweet. All right. So we had the demi-glace, and we put them in those little aluminum trays, look like the little ashtrays McDonald's used to have. And we put them on all these different sheet pans and put it in the walk-in so they can stay cold. And the one thing was, we knew that our wait staff kept eating more than we would like them to do. And kind of like you're saying, Ted, you're eating our prep, man. We'll give you all the scraps. We don't care. But like when we prep something, that kind of pisses us off. So everyone on the wait staff denied it, which they should do, because that's what you do, is deny. But we knew they were lying. So we had all the demi-glace. Then we made it a point to put whipped cream dollops on top of each one. Yep. So it looked like chocolate pudding. It looked like this wonderful little dessert. And we slid them in the walk-in. Well, now the restaurant's open, man. We are humming. It's like a Friday night. It's busy as hell. The walk-in is right at the end of our line. And a lot of times the wait staff has to go in there to just grab whatever they need, crap for the bar, et cetera, et cetera. So they go in. I'd say like 5 of them came out like, we're like, well, I know you're not choking on that thing you thought was pudding because you guys aren't eating our food. Like, what was that? It's disgusting. Like, it was bone marrow. Mm-hmm. But there's no threat of you eating it because we asked you directly and you said you're not eating the stuff. How could that possibly bother you if you're not eating our food?
Yep. I had the first time that I moved out, the very first day that I moved out of my parents' house, there was 2 or 3 other guys. I lived with 4 guys, but 2 of us lived basically in the same area. And me and my buddy, we both worked at the radio station.
All right.
Now, this particular weekend, it was a Saturday, and all of the vans that they used were already out and set up because it was a home football game in West Virginia.
Okay,
and they were the broadcasting partners, so all the major stuff, all the equipment's already been set up, but all the vans are in the parking lot and everything else. There was this old ratty van that was the old AM van for WAJR, and it was rarely used. It was dented up. It was probably one of the first vans, but it was empty. So me and my buddy Brett, we used to drive around to use for work, but we knew the damn thing was sitting in the garage. We're like, look, we're going to go down and grab this damn van, and we're just going to take it. But the problem was I parked my car in the parking lot.
All right.
because I'm taking the van. So my car is physically at work.
All right, the car's at work.
I got a beater.
Why didn't you just use your car instead of the van?
Because I got a bed. Because all these things that need to be moved. All right. From my house.
Oh, right.
I'm moving out of my mom's house. Now, what I did not know was that the guy who was the morning guy at the Top 40 radio station, he actually did dances, weddings, bar mitzvahs, those type of things. Okay. He would use those vans because he had a lot of equipment. He had speakers and all this stuff. Well, it was all to the side in the garage. It was not loaded into the van. So we didn't think, we didn't think your Nick in the morning had...
Nick in the morning.
We didn't think that he needed the van, right? Okay. Kevin Nicholas, your Nick in the morning. Good morning. You tell you the time 3 different ways. You know, he's that guy. 10 after 6, 15:07. It's 6:10, right? But, so, all right.
0600.
So Kevin gets there and he realizes, oh, God, the van's gone. I need to load up. I need to go. And he had a couple of guys there that, you know, initially we're going to load up that van for him. He had a couple kids that, you know, would help him load up and everything else and whatever. Anyway, these kids show up and he's waiting for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. They leave. They just leave. They're like, look, we're not doing this dance tonight.
Yeah.
You can't get the van. We can't get there. Well, there's all these kids in Preston County that are throwing this big shindig, and they don't have a way to get there. So your Nick in the morning, he gets really, really mad, and he drives.
You don't say.
He drives to where my mom lives and says, where's Miles? Where's the van? I had already unloaded my stuff. Yeah. I was at Brett's house. So I was loading his stuff into the van. So we're doing 2 homes. We're moving them all into one apartment. The van's out in front of his parents' house. We're loading it all up. When we get to the new apartment down on Beechhurst Avenue, I'll never forget this. I pulled up, and Kevin Nicholas is standing on the sidewalk with his hands on his hips. And he's like, you MFers, you stole the van. And we're like, no, we're just borrowing it to move. He's like, I need the van like yesterday. I need it right now. So he's like, look, I'm going to get your ass in trouble. You're going to come back with me to the radio station. You are going to load all my stuff up on this van. Not only that, you're going with me to Preston County, and you're going to work all night, and you're going to set this damn thing up, and you're going to tear it down when the dance is over with me because I just lost my help because they didn't think that they were going to be able to work today. And so we're like, oh, God, now that's all fine and dandy.
Did you actually do that?
Yes.
All right.
The problem was this was night number 1. Our other 2 roommates had decided, we've already planned this out. We've got a keg. We're throwing a banger.
Oh, right.
This is Saturday night. I mean, there's people in town. There's a football game. We're going to throw a banger, man. I mean, why not? We just graduated from high school. We're going to have our first big college night. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. This is when all the students get in and everything else. This is going to be off the chain because we've never had a party like that and been able to host it. Of course. So, I mean, we're just loading in chips and stuff that we stole from our parents' house and all these things into the apartment. And we did not get home that night until like 1:30 in the morning because it's a pretty far away from where we worked. And I just remember like thinking to myself, you've got to be kidding me. We, honest to God, borrowed this van for maybe 3 hours. That was,
but it overlapped with
it. Just overlapped with his schedule. And man, he was pissed. But he's like, look, if you guys just do this, I'm not paying you. I will not say a word. You stole the van because we're going to get our ass fired if we didn't do that.
So basically, he bought your son.
But we really did borrow the van.
No, right, I get it, man. Like,
we didn't put gas in it. We didn't do any of the things we.
I mean, you borrowed it, but from the time being that it's not there, technically, he's like, oh, it's stolen.
Yeah, I will say the only thing I've stolen from this job in 18, and I used to steal from everywhere I worked. I just felt like it was a fun thing to do. The only thing I've stolen from this job, it's probably 15 years ago. The little mic flag that says, The Rock above the microphone. No big deal. Simply, I unscrewed it. I put it home, and it's sitting in my little collection of mic flags, right? But our boss came over one time having a party, and there's a hair club, and he's looking around the house, and I totally forgot this thing was there. And he kind of taps my shoulder and points at it, and he goes, where'd you get that from? I was like, Dave, I'm going to be honest with you. I stole it. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. I said, well, like it was there. I thought it was cool.
The reason we asked if you ever borrowed something from an employer, Republic National Distributing Company calls itself one of the nation's leading wholesale beverage alcohol distributors. A description that may have caught the eye of a band of burglars in Florida. CNN reporting that an investigation is now in progress after thieves they believe worked there crammed upwards of $1.6 million worth of alcohol from the distribution company.
Damn.
They carry Cuervo, Malibu rum, among other brands. They packed them into tractor trailers, and they took off with it. Now, a search warrant unsealed earlier this month for an Apple iPhone says the thieves, the theft took place at the facility in Hillsborough County, a little bit south of Tampa, sometime between 4 a.m. and 9 a.m. That's when, per the warrant, the unknown suspects loaded up 3 18-wheelers with 4,277 cases of booze, as well as yanking out all the digital recording devices used for surveillance at the warehouse and in the trucks. Footage from nearby businesses allowed deputies to identify the tractor trailers used in the spirit snatching. Per the warrant, which adds that authorities think the iPhone in question contains specific information, data, and evidence tied to the burglary and grand theft. We have confidence that law enforcement is handling this matter seriously. We hope to get our $1.6 million worth of alcohol back eventually, once we find it.
Once we find it.
Once we find it. 3 tractor trailers. They can't find the trucks. They can't find the booze. They can't find the people who did it.
I feel like the trucks would be the easiest thing to find. But even like with iPhones, and I don't know how this works, right? But I've heard so many cases over the last years where even when they tell you, we have a warrant for your phone, you go, okay. And so you need to unlock it. And whoever the suspect is says, no. And it's just like this thing goes through court, and I never hear how it ends in the end. You know what I mean?
I would assume at some point you can, law enforcement could go to Apple, but
that's the thing. A lot of times, so you have a warrant for my phone, I go, here you go, open it. No. And then what they do is go to Apple, and this is when it always makes national news. Apple says, hey, man, part of our policy is we don't do that. And you're talking about from federal level stuff to just little pissant stuff you do locally. Mm-hmm. Apple's position, I don't know if it's the same with Samsung, but it seems like Apple's position is always like,
well, for the phone companies, it's Pandora's box, right?
I would agree.
You would hope if it's the FBI or, you would hope. You would believe them, but also there's a lot of countries whose law enforcement agencies aren't on the up and up, and you don't know what they're looking for. So I think it's easier to just, and I'm fine with it. Like, no, I don't unlock them for any law.
I even heard with the FBI, they're like, no, we believe you, but we're not going to give you access to their information. Now, we'll sell it to you like we do everybody else if you want that info, but no, we won't let you open it.
Enter carpool back home, suckers.
More of the random question on the way. 206-803-ROCK.
Transit is better with an Orca card. Here's why. 1, it's easy. Just tap and pay your way onto Metro and all other public transit around the Sound. 2, your tap shows us when and where you're riding the most, so Metro can serve you better. And 3, Orca cards are for everyone. 18 and younger now ride free with a free youth Orca card. So what are you waiting for? Get an Orca card. Tap for Transit and make your ride count today. Visit kingcounty.gov/tap for transit.
On Instacart, I can shop a huge selection of pet supplies, from that one brush that scratches him just right, to that extra comfy bed he can't wait to flop down in. And I get everything delivered right to my door in as fast as 1 hour. Okay, settle down. I know it's here. Yes, very exciting. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get a free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply. Instacart. Add life to cart.
Looking to give the gift of pleasure? Add a little high heat to keep the desire burning. Or maybe you just need a little self-care. Come to Lovers for the best lingerie and toys to keep things hot this holiday. Save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow Rewards. Just mention LOVE20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow Rewards membership until November 30th. Some exclusions apply.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1 exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
It is our random question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Emmett. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, sexy bitches.
Hola. Emmett, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see here. Okay. Probably can relate to this one. Who did you accidentally send a text to, or who accidentally sent you a text? I got one just a little while ago there from Ryan Castle. He says, how's your butt doing?
Yeah, no.
How's your butthole? I didn't know what that meant because I think he had my date screwed up with my colonoscopy.
Yep. Yeah, that is correct.
I was looking at that like maybe he knows something I don't.
It's a weird question to ask.
Yeah.
There was one time I accidentally sent something I meant to send to my dad to one of my coworkers, but Other than that,
nothing.
I mean, that can't be too bad. It's more like
no, something along the lines of like, no, I'll be up for dinner this Sunday. Do you need me to grab anything? Love you, bye.
We will reply to a lot of the texts here that are errant.
I love that.
For our own entertainment.
Most people figure out that they've texted the radio station when we send a response, but I did have one guy, I don't know, it was about a year ago. All he wanted to do was tell his wife or girlfriend that he's running late and whatever the situation was. So he didn't know he sent it to us, so I responded with something like, I'm tired of this ass. Go after yourself. And he's like, bitch, have you lost your mind? Just like, what the hell? I'm tired. So this went back and forth a few times. It probably went on for about 15 minutes. And finally, I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel bad. So I finally texted him back, said, bro, it's a radio station. We're just messing with it. He's like, thank God, LOL. Thought she lost her mind. Because I was being real mean. Real mean.
Well, at least you never sent like a naked pic to the wrong person or anything like that, right?
No, I've been real careful about that because I almost did one time, and it was like right as I was about to click send, there was I realized like, oh, there's another name there that is not supposed to get that.
So who were you trying to send it to? I assume a girlfriend or wife. And who did you almost send it to? Like a coworker, family member?
I believe it was almost going to go to a friend.
Okay, well, I think that's your best bet. I would rather accidentally send that to a friend because they know what you're up to than a coworker.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I had a friend that played a golf course I've always wanted to play, but he was down there for 3 or 4 days. And this was before I got the chance to play there. So I'm like, and he's like, man, check out some of these pictures. So I'm scrolling. And then one more back, and it's a penis. I'm like, forward. Like, man, you need to delete that picture. And he's like, what are you talking about? Oh, God.
My bad.
I was like, what's going on down there, man? You a little frisky?
I haven't gotten any pictures, but clearly a guy, and I'm assuming this is in Baltimore because my area code is still 410 on my phone. I haven't changed it in like 20 years, right? So I get a text, and I don't know the number, but it's another Maryland number. And what I'm guessing is he met this chick at the bar last night, and she just gave him fake digits so that, because it's like, hey, I had a really good time last night. I'm hoping we can hook up again, blah, 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 blah. So you're looking for a dude named Steve. Then there's a pause, and she has 3 little dots pop up. It just says no, right, with like 5 O's. It's like, because that's who I am. Whoever gave you that number gave you the wrong number.
Or you wrote it down.
Just so you know.
One of the two. Reason we asked, who did you accidentally send a text to, or who accidentally sent you a text? A 27-year-old guy asked Reddit for advice over the weekend after he accidentally sent a nude photo of his wife to his entire family and hers. They got married, were on their honeymoon. He shared a bunch of pics from the trip, including one of her topless in the hot tub. Luckily, it was not that bad. Her back was turned, so you couldn't see everything.
Yeah, right.
But it was still pretty racy, and some of her family members don't believe he sent it by mistake.
Oh, come on.
So it's causing some drama.
Can you imagine someone doing that? Okay, I married your daughter, your sister, your whatever. And then on my honeymoon, a week after we get married, you've all been there. You think I'm intentionally going to send you a nude picture of your family member?
So because it is Reddit, people start getting involved in the conversation, sharing their experiences and the mistakes that they made. One guy posted a photo of his topless wife looking out a window. What he did not realize was you could see her entire front naked off the reflection in the glass. Another woman once took a photo of an intimate area to send to her doctor.
Oh, no.
And it automatically got backed up to a shared folder online. And another woman said she somehow posted a topless pic on Facebook 8 years ago, and it still haunts her to this day. I've never made that mistake, thank God.
I've definitely sent a text to somebody that was like a name up that was wrong.
Yeah, I can see how that happens, man.
Yeah.
You got to be real careful of that. A couple texts here says, I sent a text to my old boss. It said, I love my job, but I would tell my coworkers to F off every single day. It's like 5 between all of us. Anyway, the boss texted back, quote, good to know. And then someone else said, I sent a text that said, F me like your F toy. And I sent it to my dad.
The text sometimes, too, like when you're just scrolling through the last few people you've been texting, that's where I've screwed up.
Oh, for sure. For sure, man. Yeah. Hello, Michael. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. Michael, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, Michael, it's probably because it's an easy one. What would you say is the worst part of your job?
Oh, well, I'm a DoorDash driver.
Okay.
So, I mean, a common after COVID hit, like stopped. We'll say like the main COVID part stopped a bit, and everybody stopped receiving all their cash. The tips went down. And so, like, I struggled to make what I did back then.
Oh, okay. I can believe that.
I mean, that makes sense because there's a lot less cash, and I think getting a 5 is better than getting a 5 online, and then you got to pay the taxes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What about when the food is not ready? And do you ever get the heat for the fact that, the delivery is a little bit late, but it wasn't your fault?
I try to be as straightforward and honest as possible. So if I'm like, the worst wait I've ever had was 20 minutes at Trapper's Sushi in South Hill.
Okay.
And during the entire time, like, I know I could have unassigned and not done the order. I could have skipped out on the $8. But the entire time I was being upfront, coherent, letting the customer know, hey, I arrived here at Trapper's. Hey, they told me it's going to be ready in like 10 minutes. I don't know why it's not ready yet. I'm actually currently during the DoorDash right now, so you probably hear a bunch of road noise.
I'm curious, what's the worst food for you to have to take in your car? Whether it's either because it smells awful or because it smells real good.
I can say one for both. So actually just on Monday, I had a tandoori chicken pizza that smelled rancid. Like it like your nose tells you when something should be good. It was telling me none of that.
It's just weird. It sounds kind of good.
It does sound good.
I love tandoori chicken.
It just did not hit my nose notes right. I'm not one for like all of the Indian type of food, really.
Okay, if you don't like Indian food, then the smell is going to kill you. Do people get in your car and comment that it smells like food?
No, because I vape nicotine, and that tends to cancel out a lot of different scents in the car.
Okay.
But the best smell in my car would probably be like from crumble cookies to a fresh pizza order, and especially at that right stoner moment too, because sometimes you do a little 420 while you do this, and it hits the perfect note.
I can believe that, man.
That would seem tough. I know pizza delivery guys been doing it for years. That seems tough to be stoned and then have all that hot smelling food in your car
all the time. Like, I don't know what their shift is. I don't know if you go full 8 hours for, but like, that's a long time to make myself. We talked about breakfast for dinner earlier. My stomach starting growling.
Yeah,
I can't imagine just sitting there with food I like. I could only deliver for vegetarian places. I'm not tempted by anything you put in here. Nothing.
It's like, but I bet the smells are still good.
You're right. Some things do smell good, but just knowing that it's some vegetarian dish, it'd be easier for me to be like, eh.
Yeah, it's like when we get the pizzas ordered here, and a piece will be missing out of it. Reason we asked, what is the worst part of your job? New data shows the average employee spends how many hours writing emails per week? How many hours?
Writing emails per week?
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's a 40-hour work week? Mm-hmm. I would say 17 of those hours are writing emails.
About 11.
All right.
God, the average employee writes 112 emails a week, which means that we're spending 5 to 6 minutes on each one. Quick comments, the ones that we really labor over, word by word. Of course, a lot of these emails are only being scanned, if that's the thing. But workers estimate that only 36% of their emails are fully read.
I think that's kind of a high guess.
And understood. They know that because about half of the workers say it's common to get replies where their questions are not answered, they're addressed by the wrong name, or they're asked a question that they just answered. So more than 1/3 of workers say their productivity would be positively impacted if their company relied less on email than other ways of communicating.
I hate the email thing. I do understand the necessity of it with certain things. And when Herrick Loeb is here, we had to do this. Just follow the protocols, blah, 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 blah. And that's great if you're patient and you don't really care that anything is resolved. That's always been my position because nothing gets resolved. It takes too long. So I'd always walk down the hall because his office was 50 feet away. So I'd walk down the hall and say, hey, man, this is what we're thinking about. And they'd always say, well, why didn't you put it in an email? I'm like, because you're 50 feet away. If you were at home or it was something we did not need a quick response on, that's one thing. I'm like, but when you do things, and I don't care what company you work for, it's not just Odyssey, it's most of them, things do not get done quickly. And I understand that people are busy or maybe they missed your email or got spam. But I don't have time for that. Like, time is of the essence. We have things to do. I'm asking you directly. I have texted him directly before. I've called him directly before. Then there's other things that are out of my hands. We were trying to sign up for life insurance, all right? And with that, like, the company provides it, but it goes through a third party. It is what it is. And they sent an email offering it. And I'm like, you know what? I'll go ahead and do this. That way, when my wife murders me, I know my kids are taken care of. So I filled out all this crap you had to fill out. You hit send. I hear nothing for like 3 weeks, right? This is the protocol. So I send another thing, saying, hey, let's get this thing moving along. Still no response. So I send a third one. But this time on the subject line, I put, and this is honest to God truth, I think my wife is trying to kill me. Within 5 minutes, I got a response. And I said, I was joking, but it's about life insurance. And then it got done. And I even had the boss ask me, did you honestly put that in the subject line? I said, yeah, because they don't do anything unless you provoke it, man. Like, this is work. And if you're not in a hurry to get anything done, then don't expect anything to be done. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, dude.
Random.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Justin, welcome to the program. Random question. How about this one? What bothers you about people when you are flying? What is the annoyance that you have with air travel as far as the other passengers?
Armrest etiquette.
Okay.
All right, what is your middle seats? What do you think the middle seat, because that's the one where I feel like people complain the most.
So I think that middle gets, basically you get one armrest closer to the window. The window guy gets the window, and then aisle guy gets aisle armrest.
So you get both if you're in the middle.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the way I always thought. The middle guy gets both.
That's what I've heard as well.
I mean, I think it too. The problem is not everyone seems to share that.
No, and it's never happened.
Now, see, it's even worse, though, when you're in the middle seat and then the middle person in front of you leans back their chair.
Right.
Because now you're kind of splitting your knees.
And you're kind of encroaching in the other people's turf.
Correct. And you just don't have a lot of room to maneuver at all. You feel like your elbows are locked the entire time. Your knees are kind of locked in the entire time. You have no room to stretch out.
Mm-hmm.
I still think they should just stop. Get rid of that.
I agree. Just get rid of
You can't, because they keep making the seats closer to each other, smaller. It's like, take that out.
And people get angry about people leaning their seat back. And it's like, man, alleviate this. It's just not something you can do.
Yeah.
Although I do the knee jack now. I'm just tall enough where I can get my knees. So if you try to lean back, it just doesn't go as far.
It locks
you
in.
get like one click back.
Yeah. Well, a survey by online travel engine Skyscanner found there are 7 behaviors in particular that most offend passengers.
Please don't be farting.
Barefoot.
Well, God almighty. I know. Unless you're a child.
Number 7, asking someone to switch seats. Nearly a third of respondents agree that asking someone to leave the seat they reserved on a flight and swap places is a no-no. It's not clear if this is situation dependent for any of the respondents, but 31% of 2,000 U.S. adults were polled throughout it, and they said it's a breach of flying etiquette.
Really? Look, I've never asked anyone to do that for me, but it doesn't bother me if someone asks, because most of the time they explain why, and it's either family or their kids or something. You know what I mean? Like, all right,
Look,
man.
I got on a plane to go to West Virginia, and apparently, I don't know if this guy had never flown before. I don't know what the deal was, but he was in my seat.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, man, I think you're in the wrong seat. He's like, I'm sitting here. This is my seat, and I'm going to sit here. I'm like,
that was his response?
Here's my ticket. I said, that's my seat. He's like, sit somewhere else. I said, sir, all the seats are assigned. So I said, if I sit down, the plane is not fully boarded yet. I can't just sit in someone else's seat. That's not how this game works. He's like, I want this seat. This is the seat I'm going to sit in. I'm like,
are you serious?
For crying out loud.
Wow.
So
that is.
I mean, dude, it's
that is unbelievable.
So I go to the front of the plane. I told the crew staff member, I said, hey, this guy's in my seat. I said, I don't know the seat assignments on this plane. I need to sit down somewhere. I said, is there an empty seat on this aircraft? And he comes back and he's like, there is an empty seat on this air class, and it's right here in first class. And even though they had no service other than the regular beverage,
still, who cares?
I was on a little puddle jumper. I was like, all right, got a little more room up here. It's a bigger seat. It's kind of nice.
This is my seat. I'm not going to move. Like,
dude,
I would have lost it.
I would have lost my freaking mind.
This dude was camo head to toe, and he looked like he.
Who cares? He's like a jackass and a moron.
He looked like he could kill me.
You have zero luck with assigned seats, Miles.
Oh, I know. Anytime I go anywhere, there's someone in my seat. Sporting events, concerts, you name it. Anything that I do, man, there's someone sitting in my seat.
I've had people sitting in my seat on the plane, and I understand people I didn't know if this was B or E, just because of the way they label it. And once you tell, I've never had a problem. I go, oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's alphabetical.
And they move. That's all.
Using both armrests comes in at number 6. Unless, of course, you're in the middle seat, which I've always heard, like the caller said, that's the way to go. Everyone hates reclining seats.
Yep.
It is insane. I mean, that one is tried and true. There's no one who goes, no, I love it.
Yeah, right, stop. Just get rid of them.
And I just don't think it even helps you relax that much.
No. It really doesn't,
yes. Man. Taking off shoes or socks there, Ted?
Yeah. Look,
that's a hot button.
I get undoing your laces, so right, because some people's feet swell and this and that, but going barefoot on a plane, and every air person, I don't want to say stewardess,
flight
attendant will tell you, like, these planes are disgusting. Don't go walk barefoot in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Number 3 on the list of things that annoy people when they fly. Talking to strangers, being a chatty seatmate. 40% said that is very offensive when strangers on an airplane try to be chatty during a flight. This may sound harsh to some of the more outgoing
I've been guilty of that.
But there's maybe no faster way to burst any illusion of private space on a crowded airplane than striking up a conversation with someone who just wants to sit there in silence.
But usually you can test fire it and you have an idea, right? Because I don't know if they're going to be super chatty to me either. And I just want to get a beat on how you are. So it's like maybe they're super chatty and nice, but they're going to talk about crap I don't care about. Headphones go on, whether I'm actually listening or anything. But you always ask us something, hey, man, where are you coming from?
You could tell when people don't want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore. Okay.
7 behaviors in particular that offend passengers. Number 2, using the speakerphone on your phone.
Oh, my God.
Man,
Come on.
I hate when that's at a bar. I hate when that's at a restaurant.
Right.
Airplane, I mean, I haven't really been exposed to it that much. But I will say, man, if someone's just sitting there watching videos or showing someone videos and, like, you're trying to watch
volume's
something,
up,
and I'm just like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, turn the volume down. Like, this is like a 2-minute bit. It would be one thing if it was like 20 seconds, 15 seconds, like, check this out.
But it's a small courtesy, man. We have to make a concession to coexist on an aluminum tube in the sky.
People walk around with their speakerphone on, but they have their phone up to their head. That's another one I don't get. Or they're looking into it, but they're not on FaceTime. It's just, they're just talking, but they're on speakerphone. And they're walking around like, if you were 2 inches closer, you could just use the phone normally.
Look, I use speaker all the time to talk to people, but not when I'm walking down the street.
Yeah, if you're at home, whatever. And number 1, personal grooming. Coming in first place, 42% say the most offensive lack of etiquette on an airplane. Personal grooming, including painting your nails, clipping your nails, trimming your beard, and more.
Who trims their beard?
A former flight attendant's popular social media channel documents what she finds to be some of the worst passenger behaviors. And a lot of that is people clipping, filing, and doing all that to their nails while they're on an airplane.
That is so gross.
More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
From the very beginning, your kids mean everything to you. That means you do anything for them, especially if they're at risk. So when it comes to type 1 diabetes, screen it like you mean it. Because even if just one person in the family has it, your child is up to 15 times more likely to get it, too. Screen it like you mean it. Because type 1 diabetes can develop at any age. And once you get results, you can get prepared for your child's future. So screen it like you mean it. Type 1 starts long before there are symptoms. But one blood test could help you spot it early, before they need insulin, and could lower the risk of serious complications like diabetic ketoacidosis or DKA. Talk to your doctor about how to screen for type 1 diabetes, because the more you know, the more you can do. So don't wait. Tap now or visit screenfortype1.com to learn more. Again, that's screenfortype1.com. Screen it like you mean it.
Transit is better with an Orca card. Here's why. 1, it's easy. Just tap and pay your way onto Metro and all other public transit around the Sound. 2, your tap shows us when and where you're riding the most, so Metro can serve you better. And 3, Orca cards are for everyone. 18 and younger now ride free with a free youth Orca card. So what are you waiting for? Get an Orca card, tap for transit, and make your ride count today. Visit kingcounty.gov/tap for transit.
Friday night, November 17th, we will see you at Snoqualmie Casino Live Day now headed to prom night. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Show gets underway about 7 o'clock on a Friday night. Everything live. We will be live on stage. BJ and Migs live on stage. All the sound effects, all the music, the voice actors on the commercials, the Foley artists who create all of the sound effects. Of course, we'll have the Barbershop Quartet. And every prom, needs a live band. So we'll have that as well. Details and tickets for Live Day going to prom night available now at KISW.com. It's going to be a fun time. We're doing it back to back. No 4-hour break in between. Both shows just bam, bam. Getting it done on a Friday night. Enjoying ourselves at Snoqualmie Casino. What is our random question? Question 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Scott. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Scott, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see here. Okay, Scott, let's go with this one. What do you own that you believe might be valuable? What are you holding on to there? You think, hey, maybe one day this might be worth a little bit of money.
Well, so my father-in-law, before he passed away, he had a bunch of guns. And a bunch of them are old, like, black powder musket guns. I've never had them inspected or had anybody look at them, but there's like 6 or 7 of them, and they look pretty old and valuable. There's a couple that look like pirate guns.
I was going to say, do they look authentic?
Yeah. Oh, they're legitimately real. That part is true.
Okay, then they're probably worth some good coin.
Yeah, and they're probably, I would take it to somebody, but I would guess that unless they're jammed or something, they're probably operational. Was he a musket hunter?
Yeah, he did a lot of black powder shooting.
Okay, because there's a musket season in West Virginia, and they get first crack. It's like muskets and bow.
Okay.
So bow season, they open that up for people to...
Do they have Luke season or just bow?
They have no. They just got bow season.
Just bow.
I would get them checked out first before I'd fire that, though.
I absolutely would do that, right? But yeah, man, I would get those things appraised. You might be holding on to some decent money.
The mechanism is pretty basic. That doesn't mean a gun can't jam, no matter what. But it's not a lot of. There's not a lot of moving parts on it. Basically, you just need to tamp it down, man. And they have the weird thing about it is, man, the barrels on those things are huge.
Yeah,
muskets. Yeah, they're heavy.
That's a long ass gun. Yeah,
are they super heavy?
Yeah, they're really heavy.
So if your father-in-law had not left those to you, do you have anything else that you think might be worth value, or are those legitimately the things where you're like, hey, this might be worth some money?
I have a watch collection, and my grandfather left me a gold Bulova watch that has diamonds around each of the numbers.
All right.
I'd say that's probably the most valuable thing I own.
Will you ever part with it? Is it something you're going to leave to your kids?
Yeah, I'll leave it to my oldest son. Yeah.
Okay. Is he the one who strikes you as being more responsible?
No, I just promised it to him first, but I've got another watch that I won that, worth a couple grand, and I told him my second son he could have it. I have 9 children, so... 9 children?
But we know what you like.
Man, oh, man.
You need to get your musket checked.
I think it works.
I'm pretty sure it does.
I'm saying it does.
It shoots pretty true, doesn't it?
Doesn't jam much. That's for sure. What are the age ranges of the kids?
The youngest are 18, and the oldest will be 31 this month.
Oh, so you're almost out of the woods.
Yeah.
Damn. That had to take a long time to get there, didn't it?
What did you do for a living to support 9 children?
Bought groceries.
So I called in last Wednesday. I'm the flooring guy, Scott, that you talked to.
Okay. All right.
So flooring, and you still managed to raise 9 kids.
Yeah, I sell carpet.
Yeah, you do more than that.
Man, oh, man.
Yeah.
That's,
sure. Okay.
I cannot imagine 9 children.
No.
And they're yours. So, we've had a sleepover where there were, I think the most we've had at a sleepover is 12 kids. One of the kids' birthdays, and I don't remember whether it's a daughter or son. And I get it. They're all the same age. They're loud because they're excited and all that. But I just kept looking at my wife like, this is contraception right here. It's audio contraception. Listening to all
There's
this.
one you don't love. It's not that you don't love them and care about
You're
them.
just saying out of 9, there's one.
Yeah, of course. I mean, think about it. Just any numbers game out there.
Well, it depends, because you're right, you do love them. When I was in my teen years, because I was a pretty terrible kid, and my mom was straight up telling me, like, look, I love you, but I do not like you. And it's not like she told me that once. It was pretty consistent for about 4 good years there. And I realized she legitimately does not like me. But there was nothing about me to like. So, and when you're a teenager, you're kind of like, good, F you kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. She's saying it to be honest and kind of
She's
get to
being
you.
dead
And
on.
you're just like, I don't care.
But if there are 9 kids, do you really even know if you're the favorite? It's just there's
If
9.
I have 9 kids, my favorite is the first one to move out and reduce my number to 8. And then my youngest one will be my next favorite, because when you finally leave, I don't have 9 kids.
Yeah, but you know
in
what?
my
That first kid, you know what they're going to do? They're going to get their significant other pregnant right away. And before
Your
you know it,
grandfather.
you're going to be babysitting again. And you're going to be like, no, this is not starting over again, because it's never going to stop. It never will end. I can't imagine Christmas rolling in with 9 kids.
No, you do it at one of their homes.
And grandkids roll around, man. It's like, it just
I mean, look, Bernie comes from a family of 8, right? And there's like basically 2 sets, right? There was 5 of them. Then there's a pretty like good break of like 9 years or something. And then there's like Bernie, Sarah, and Andrew.
Okay.
I would say those 3 overall are liked more. So I think it was a little easier when they were kids.
Because you know what you're doing, all that
But
kind
obviously, like, I would say like Bernie's sister is like the favorite because she's the youngest girl. And like she's always lived like by there and stuff. But like Mrs. G, like that's her thing, right? She still works at the cafeteria at DeMatha. Like all the kids have grandkids, like blah, blah, blah.
How many grandkids does she have, if you had to estimate? Because Bernie has what, like Christ, 4, 5?
Bernie's got 4 kids his own. Right? Sarah's got a couple. I mean, just between the 3 of them, I think there's already, 4, 7, like 9 or 10.
Oh, so you probably add at least that again at the top, right?
And you got to keep in mind, right? Like Bernie's like a year or 2 older than me. Andrew was a year behind. But like we would go to parties and somebody would be like, and I'd be like, yeah, that girl is hot. Like, you know, that's Andrew's niece. And they'd be like, but she's older than him. I'm like, I know. There's a lot of kids in that family. But I would also say, like, growing up Catholic, there's a lot of big families. There was one family I knew, I can't remember. They had something crazy, like 10 kids or whatever. Their dad always seemed more like a principal than a dad.
Because there's too many kids to wrangle.
Right, and they never seemed too close to him, but like the mom didn't work. Right. But like, he had this very authoritative kind of presence, and like when he came into the room, like you shut up and listen to him. But like he was not like I could have been wrong. He did not strike me as like a very hands-on father.
That's the way my wife is. She's very, very hands-on. Make no mistake about that. But like the kids, they do a sleepover. It's one of the birthday parties. For whatever reason, there are more kids in my home than I personally would like. But here they are, and there's nothing I can do about it. Right. So when the last kid gets there, she pulls them all into the living room. This is every time. And she sits them all on the sofa, and she just calls them children, right? It's almost like Belichick when he's talking to Tom Brady. Yeah. He's still number 12. So children, that includes our own, all the friends, doesn't matter. And she lays down rules, but she's like Arlie Ermey from Full Metal Jacket, man. So you get a 2-minute dissertation on what she expects, what she does not expect, what will happen if you violate these rules. And they all nod their heads, and they have this tremendous amount of respect for her. So about 2 months ago, we had something to do. We're at someone else's house, and all the kids are going to be at our home. All right, so I have to take the last kids over to our house. Same number. I think there were 6 of them. So I go down there, and I go, look, man, I know you're used to my wife, and she gives you, like, all of the instructions, everything that she expects, and they're like, yes, because they know. So I said, I'm just going to sum up what she's saying. Don't do anything effing stupid. They just, okay. Mm-hmm. And there are no problems. I'm like, literally, that's all I have to say. If you think it's stupid, it's probably stupid, so don't do that.
Please.
And they were great.
Reason we asked what do you own that might be valuable. Here's an update from a story that we brought you a few weeks back. A Star Wars artifact is now headed to a new owner's hands. The Guardian reports that on Sunday, the 20-inch model of an X-Wing starfighter discovered in a late maker's garage became the most expensive Star Wars screen-used prop ever sold at auction.
Screen-used, okay, all right.
The winning bid for designer Greg Jean's piece of movie history, a record-busting $3.1 million. Damn. Not clear who scooped up the relic, one of only 4 hero models used in the original 1977 film. CNN notes that the other items from his collection also brought in some cash over the weekend, including a stormtrooper outfit from the first film in the Star Wars franchise. That went for $645,000, as well as a stack of original production scripts that sold for nearly $28,000. But that original X-Wing starfighter
that they used the model for the,
I guess, was the lead that had the stripe down the side.
Gold leader?
Yes.
There was gold leader, red leader, and
one of those. One of those was like the main guy.
All right. The fact that I know its name tells you if I had that money, I'd buy it. By the way, some people commenting on the number of kids. It says my grandparents had 11 kids. The oldest was graduating when the last one was born. Then I like this one. It says my wife and I have 2 kids. Now, I've always been against getting a vasectomy. Well, we had a pregnancy scare when our youngest was 6 or 7. I scheduled an appointment and was snipped the following Saturday.
Damn.
Funny how quick that works.
Yeah. Oh, it saves you money.
Does insurance cover that, or is that like an elective
Vasectomy?
one?
I don't know, because it is elective.
Seems like your bank should cover it.
Well, it's
I know the bank. All that money you spend on kids, here's a little kickback.
It's cost effective. I mean, I don't care what it costs.
Right.
It's like a divorce.
I guess that was going to be my follow-up question. Like, how much does it cost to get snipped?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I guarantee it's cheaper than another kid.
All right.
I'm comfortable in that belief.
Are you guys, Miles, I know you are or were?
Yeah.
Thrill, are you?
No, I haven't gotten a vasectomy, and we, I don't know, we had a quote-unquote scare maybe a year and a half ago. I'm just like, are you serious right now? And she's like, I'm like, oh, my God. And then it turns out, like, no, she was not pregnant, and we almost, like, did a breakdance routine in the kitchen.
I'm thinking about getting out front, just getting
just like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Let me get in front of this thing here.
Trust me, you never know.
Yeah.
And like I said, you love your kids, but they ain't cheap, and they're not always cooperative. Maybe that's the best way to put it. They lack impulse control. I had to tell them to shut up. We're just trying to watch SNL. All right, but we had taped it, so we're watching it yesterday after the final football game. But it's about 9 o'clock at this point, and the kids are kind of powering down to go to bed. So they walk into the living room with us, which is always lovely, you know, when the whole family's together. They wouldn't shut up. Like, they could not stop asking questions. And finally, I'm just like, guys, you need to shut your mouth for 5 freaking minutes so we can just watch this one part of us in 5 minutes. Just shut up. About 10 seconds later, I was like, well, I wasn't the one who was talking. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
It's talking.
That's talking. Stop doing that or learn sign language. I don't care if you have a conversation. I don't want to hear it for 5 minutes. That's all we had. We got through about 2 minutes. My wife finally just paused it. Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
Yeah.
It is
You have to.
impossible.
You have to.
You guys cannot stop talking. Sorry. This one's still fresh. Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Justin, welcome to the program. Random question. Here is a very random question. When is the last time that you used a porta potty? Last time you used a porta potty, where were you? What were you doing?
I mean, a lot. I work construction. Pretty easy one.
Okay. So are you in there most of the time?
No, because I called you guys a few times. I run tower crane, so I actually typically pee in a bottle and use a bucket for anything else.
Have I not seen a porta potty on top of a crane before, or am I losing my mind?
I've done it. I've never had it done for me, but we did it for a guy just because we had 2 towers on the job, one taller than the other, and the guy in the shorter crane was having some stomach issues.
I mean, I've seen
issues, yeah.
You've seen the cranes lifting them up.
Sure.
I don't know that I've ever seen a porta potty next to a crane.
I have.
Oh,
To the
sometimes
operator.
taking them up to the building floor or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, they might
construction.
take them up to the
Yeah,
top
yeah,
for the
yeah.
rest of them.
Here's my question. So I know a lot of you guys that operate cranes poop in a bucket, which makes complete sense. So that's no problem, but you have to carry that thing down with you as you're climbing down, right?
Well, I'm nice, so yeah, I do.
Well, yeah,
my old man was a tower crane operator too, and he would send his bag down.
Oh, you just
I would
put it
just
on the
send
crane
it,
itself?
Yeah, I would just send it down on the crane.
Yeah, I'd just cover the top and be like, guys, you know what it is. But I'm not walking this thing down.
What
on
if
the
it
ladder.
bursts open on the way down?
Well, you know,
Hits
hey,
the side
I
of the
double bag.
All right.
I got some scented bags, and if it needs to happen, I make it happen, and double, triple bag, and yeah, I'm in your bag.
Do you put it outside of the little compartment area that you're in, the little whatever that is, the little box?
Yeah, I'll put it down in the slewing ring down below me, and that
So-
way it's not in the cab with me.
Essentially, when it comes to using the bathroom, you pretty well can go anywhere. If you can go under that situation,
Right.
that circumstance, you can go anywhere.
I'm a pretty private pooper, so I mean it works out for me up there. But
Well, can like the construction workers, can they see into your cab there, and can they see what you're doing?
if they really wanted to, I guess.
All right.
But
I don't think people are
I
dying to
kind of
watch you
duck
poop.
back behind the seat.
You know, to be fair, and I mean this in all honesty, working in downtown Seattle, I've seen multiple people poop, all right? So, outdoors. If you are pooping, most people will turn away anyway. Like, that's one of those moments, really, you don't need to be subtle because no one's going to watch
It's the
you
only
do it.
time that your dog will make eye contact with you.
Yeah, just like, oh,
It's
okay.
when they are going to the bathroom. They refuse. They'll turn around. They'll point their butt at you, so they don't have to look.
Hey, by the way, we just got a text that came in. It says, a question for the crane guy. Does a crane put up a crane, and then does a bigger crane put up that crane, and who put up the original crane?
The tower cranes go up with mobile cranes, big mobile cranes that can pick up to, 200 feet or whatever, 300 feet. And then when they get to like a 40-story, that crane jacks itself up.
Oh, wow.
So it just,
It has a system that lifts the cab off of the tower. Then they feed in a new tower, and then so on and so forth.
And what's the highest you've ever been in a crane?
I've been in one that was 520.
Whoa.
And you're perfectly fine with that?
For the most part, yeah.
I would freak the hell out.
You should not be a crane
I would
operator.
freak out.
I mean,
the whole climb up, the whole deal, I would freak out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a weird job.
Swing two
and
or
to feel
three
it
feet.
sway.
Oh, man, you have no idea. And then just looking down, I'd be like, oh, God. That would absolutely, that sounds like a horror movie. I don't even know how much money it would take me to go up on one of those things.
$1 million bucks.
I couldn't make it.
$1 million cash. But you have to climb up yourself.
But I have to make it up there.
Yes, you have to make it up there.
Oh,
And you cannot
man.
touch the $1 million until you get up
My
there.
hands would be all sweaty, like all the things.
Wear gloves.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it.
$2 million.
I don't think I could do it.
Physically, your body would not allow you.
It doesn't matter the
What's
money.
the highest you've ever climbed a ladder?
Oh, man. Probably to get up onto a second-story roof, which was nerve-wracking as hell.
So 20 feet, maybe?
Maybe, but it still was too much for me.
But I've climbed a ladder before once that was probably legit 45, 50 feet in the air.
Jesus.
Really?
Correct.
That would freak me out.
You know what? To be honest with you, it probably would have freaked me out if I hadn't have thought about how, like, I just kind of did it.
Yeah.
Where were you going?
To the bar. There was a structure, and there was a bar up there real high.
You had to climb up a 45-foot ladder to get to a
Is this
bar?
Burning Man?
It is Burning Man.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
That makes complete sense.
Finally. I'm like, where in the hell are you? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
people who are drunk are coming down a 45-foot ladder. Like, no.
Yeah, and then Cobb and I sat up there, and there was the bartender. The bartender was having a rough day. He was curled up in the fetal position behind the bar. Oh, no. So then Cobb and I just kind of sat up there and started running the bar, but then people kept coming up, and we were like, honestly, we don't know whose party this is.
Right.
That guy's just having a real bad time.
Yeah.
And then we went back down, and we're like, let's get out of here.
Jesus.
God, you know what? I hope that guy made it down.
Reason we asked when's the last time you used a porta potty. Here's an interesting story. 35 portable toilets, some of them full, were stolen from a racetrack in England.
Why?
That has left the owner slightly baffled. This happened yesterday in Herefordshire. Units are owned by 3 counties toilet hire, which said replacing just one of those, it's about 1,000 pounds. They stole 35.
Jeez.
He set up the company in 2020, said, I am baffled by this. The toilets are not easy to move, and some of them were still full. So the thieves stole full toilets. He said whoever took the devices must have done it 4 or 5 trips or so. It's everything else we put inside them as well, like sanitizing units. All that is gone. 2 portable toilets for disabled users, also stolen. They're 1,500 pounds apiece. Those are nice. So you ever been in a portable handicapped toilet?
I have. I don't know if nice is the word.
Oh, they're great. They got plenty of room in there, plenty of space.
I don't do that. I think the porta potties are big enough. I only use handicapped stalls at work.
Oh, man, you haven't lived. You've been in a handicapped porta potty.
Oh, no, you've lived.
It's real nice.
It's
There's
not
plenty
real
of room.
nice. It's bigger.
It is bigger.
It still smells the same.
still a porta
it feels
potty.
the
Yeah.
same, but it does have more. So you don't feel like there's as much like stinky air on you.
Look, man, if you found one of those things in the middle of the woods, you'd be like, you know what? I could sleep in here tonight.
No.
No.
You could.
I believe you could, but I wouldn't.
All right. Your guess is as good as mine. Come to our category, soup and sandwiches. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Therapy is known to be extremely helpful. But have you ever tried eavesdropping on someone else's problems? Listen to the new podcast, Say More with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler as the world-renowned self-proclaimed couples therapist.
You know, it's funny, as I was making the appointment to come
I'm
today.
I'm sorry, I made the appointment.
I booked the appointment.
Listen to Say More with Dr. Sheila on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. Choose Wendy's 2 for $3 breakfast Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
When things feel a bit chaotic, Instacart helps deliver milk and sausage. Add a little life to your cart. Get stuff from literally all your stores, from baby wipes to albacore. Add a little life to your cart. Instacart helps get your groceries. Your first 3 deliveries are free.
Download Instacart. Add life to cart. Terms apply.
Looking to give the gift of pleasure? Add a little high heat to keep the desire burning. Or maybe you just need a little self-care. Come to Lovers for the best lingerie and toys to keep things hot this holiday. Save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow Rewards. Just mention LOVE20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow Rewards membership until November 30th. Some exclusions apply.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Your guess is as good as mine. Cut out the categories today: soup and sandwiches. The first time for a few emails from the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Couple of birthday shouts, guys. Want to send a special birthday shout out to our son Vince. He is 9 years old today. Listen to your program every day on the way to his gym, where he trains in jiu-jitsu and wrestling Monday through Friday.
It's terrifying that a 9-year-old could beat my ass.
Yeah, if he heard this on the radio on his way to class this afternoon, he would love it so much. Our birthday message to Vince: happy birthday. We love you. We're proud of you. Keep up the hard work. Continue being awesome. Let's show him the love with a fish sandwich melody, some green beans. Can't do the dirty Germans until he's 18. But lots of love from Mom and from Dad. Thank you guys so much.
Can I get
a filet of fish sandwich?
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? Put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I'll order a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side.
Oh, yeah.
I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning. At noon and at night.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich?
Green
oh, you don't want a fish sandwich?
Green beans. Green beans.
Pachola, today is my wonderful girlfriend Vivian's 32nd birthday. She would love to have a cat fart, and Coach Ted giving her some pointers on working in the water quality department at a zoo. Liquor and Horse, gentlemen, that from iMac, I believe.
Oh, my gosh.
Vivian, huh?
Vivian.
I'll tell you what, Vivian, a lot of people probably laugh and go, water department at a zoo? Like, what does that matter? I'll tell you what it matters. You ever seen a giraffe's tongue? It's massive, all right? They have a very peculiar taste when it comes to water, and they can notice bad water. Now, the crocodiles, alligators, snakes, feed them the garbage water. Giraffe, give them the good stuff.
Okay,
They live in it. They don't need clean stuff to
give
drink.
them the garbage water, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to be full of algae. Jesus.
Yeah, and they're still like slimy and sneaking around.
That's the water they drink anyway, right?
I don't even know if they drink water. I don't work at the zoo. Vivian does.
Mm-hmm. All the gentlemen from Cancun, Mexico. Today is my 52nd birthday. Can I get the Dirty Germans wishing me a happy birthday? Can Miles give an inspirational quote? Thanks, guys, and rock on. That from Mark in Cancun, Mexico.
Yeah, that's a joke I could make, but I'd be fired from the radio, so we'll just stick with the can part, which is what we plan on visiting tonight.
Yeah, I think tonight after you have your fun, dirty fun, just remember, don't use the ice.
Hey, he ain't joking.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You'll forget it's in your drink and you'll start chewing on it.
Is it that way in Cancun, though, the resorts?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, my, yes.
What if it just melts in your cup? I'm not an ice chewer.
Well, you know what? You can't stop that either, but it doesn't help to eat it.
They've got, but it's funny because we go to Mazatlan a lot, and there are resorts. We don't stay there, but restaurants will brag, hey, Even our ice is clean.
All right.
They've upgraded. Seriously, I mean, because it's such a stereotype that we've had about it. And like, bro, we've caught up.
We know this. The Germans don't.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
Mark, this one's for you for your birthday. There once was a man from Bel Air who was doing his girlfriend on the stair. When the banister broke, he doubled his stroke and finished off in midair.
And only but again.
That's inspirational.
Yeah, that is very inspirational. It's our way of saying, don't quit.
There once was a couple named Kelly who walked around belly to belly. They should have used petroleum jelly. Guys, I just want to give a birthday shout out to my husband, Randy. He is 58 today, the best husband a girl could ask for. Can't wait to spend more years with you. We're currently back in Washington for a few months, and he is definitely not liking the dreary weather. But soon we will be back to the sunshine in Arizona or Las Vegas. Randy and I are your faithful listeners that lived in Yuma, Arizona. So please give him a big old bong rip and the Dirty Germans talking about all the fun stuff to do in the sunshine. And, of course, a fish sandwich. That from his loving wife, Lisa.
I'll have a fish sandwich.
What else we got? Was that all you wanted?
Dirty
Germans. So much stuff to do in the sunshine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, it depends where it is you want to be. You could be in Hawaii, you could be in Mexico, you could be almost anywhere that is not here, but specifically in Arizona, it's a little thing called the Arizona Bona.
Yeah, I think as long as you're down there, you get naked.
Down where?
It's Arizona. before you get naked, before the sex, you turn your buttocks to the sky, and you let the sun shine in.
Yeah. You say it's where the sun don't shine. You can change that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here we go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Bob. Let's get a contestant on the line for your guess is as good as mine now. 206-803-ROCK. In the meantime, a couple of extra emails. How did I find out what I'm scared of, guys, from last week? My youngest son had an epilepsy episode with a grand mal seizure. That was the scariest time of my life. I've been through S, but I've never dealt with anything like that. That startled me to the core. Kids will give you the most life-changing emotions that you'll ever feel. He's doing fine now. Love your show. That from Louie. Louie, I have the same thing happened to me.
That's going to scare anyone.
It freaks you the hell out.
At what age did you find out that your daughter's prone to it? And it's part of epilepsy, right?
She's epileptic, but it was over the Christmas break. It was Ted's birthday, so it was Christmas Eve.
Did you know she was epileptic?
No idea.
Before? Okay, so
no idea. Yeah.
And doctors can't diagnose it before this happens.
And she was up on the top bunk of the bunk beds, and she was sizable. And I'm trying to climb up that ladder and get her ass down.
How old was she, like 12 or something like 13?
She was older than that. Yeah. She was like probably 13 or 14 years
young
old.
Adult size.
So she was a big girl. Like, she was not a kid.
She was husky.
Well, she was lanky.
Right.
I mean, she was just...
She's a long child.
Yeah, she was long. And trying to get her down this damn ladder, man. It's like, the ladder can't really support my fat ass. So I'm trying to get her down. And oh, my God. And there was all kinds of...
Right, you release everything.
You do release
everything. So they don't...
On both sides. So
they generally don't diagnose their epileptic until you show the guaranteed sign that you have epilepsy, right?
Well, it's not even just epilepsy. Like, my cousin, he didn't know till he was, like, an adult.
Really?
Yeah, and he crashed his car going to work, and everybody's like, oh, you must have fell asleep. And then he passed out, like, one more time, and finally the doctors were like, oh, crap. Like, if you do this, and this, you're going to have a seizure.
It's such a weird thing because, when your kid's born, they run a battery of tests. Your kid turns about 2, they run a battery of tests. Even when your kid turns like 12, 13, they run a battery test. And some things they can find in advance. I get it. I don't know what it is where epilepsy, until you show the signs of it, somehow can hide from... I don't know what tests they do or do not have to detect it, but then, because 100% of the times that I've heard that someone figured out that their kid, their parent, or sibling had epilepsy, it was after something happened.
That's one of the reasons that she was having a hard time going to Africa to be there, was because they didn't have the medications for her.
His daughter is in Africa now.
So the areas that she was going to, they couldn't get the medication that she needed for a couple different things that are all associated with that. Here's one thing I did not realize about that crap, is that... kids have boundless energy. Up until the time you're 18. I mean, we get tired just, doing a regular day half the time. But they're always ready. They hate going to bed, even at that age. Like, I'm not going to sleep, blah, blah, blah. I did not realize that when you have a seizure, that it is the equivalent of a adult person running a marathon as far as how it exhausts your body.
The amount of energy it takes for your body to
just
do
absolutely get through it. So the next day, my kid is a rag doll and wiped the hell out.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen that before.
Right.
I'd never seen her just not able to really move or do anything, or like, you bring her grilled cheese and she's like, she can't even chew. Like, what is going on, man?
So when you're talking about boundless energy, and kids do have it, and much like my dog, there's always the storm before the calm. So last night, I'm watching a football game. It's getting toward the end of the Bills-Giants game. Anyway, they go to commercial break, and for no reason at all, certainly not my request, he's like, Dad, I want to see if I can run through the entire house before they get back from commercial break. So you just... mildly annoying, but also kind of amusing. And he gets back. He was like, no problem. And I'm looking at him like, because you're 11. That's why. But he is up front and tells you straight up, Dad, I'm having a hard time right now. What's up, man? I have too much energy.
Oh, really?
He acknowledged, like, I need to do something. Like, dude, go on the trampoline. We can go
buy
play
him some
catch.
running shoes.
We could do, bro, he's got running shoes. He's got running shoes for days. But, I mean, I like the fact that he acknowledges it.
You might need to buy a treadmill. Run them on there like a hamster on a hammer trail.
You know my feeling about going to a gym, right? It's just not something I'm going to do.
Put it in your house.
We went, when we were on vacation over the summer, they had an exercise room at the hotel we're at, but you could see into it, but it's directly across from the elevator. So I kept trying to blow him off, and he's like, man, I really want to go to the exercise room. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Well, San Diego had its quote-unquote hurricane, but nothing was open. It rained. Their day was like today. So he goes, I want to go to the exercise room. I'm like, God damn it. So I had to go. Truth be, we both got on the treadmill. He did burn a lot of energy. I got on the treadmill as well. It wasn't awful, but the speed he was going and the incline he had versus what I'm doing. I'm walking down a flat street.
Oh, yes.
He's running up a mountain, full tilt. But we went the same length of time, but it did.
Same distance at the same time?
Same distance, same time. But like I said, I'm going straight.
But you also have longer strides.
Like 3 times longer. So I am debating getting him one when he has those moments like, go get on the treadmill and work it out.
Take your Izzy.
Throw your damn can away.
Yeah.
Good God, man.
Time for Low Your Guess. This is as good as mine. It's an easy game to play. You get to pick from one of 2 categories and try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. Steve, who is our contestant ready to play Your Guess, is as good as mine.
Never met him personally, I don't think, but his name is Justin. Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Justin, welcome to the program. Your guess is as good as mine. You got 2 categories to choose from. We're doing soup and sandwich night.
Yeah.
So you get to choose between the 10 most popular soups in the United States, Justin, or we have the 22 best sandwiches in America. If you get 10 out of the 22 right in the sandwiches, I'm going to give it to you.
So you're going 10 out of the...
Do you have to know the place or just the style of sandwich?
Just the sandwich.
Okay.
That is correct. So, Justin, sandwiches or soup, what are you doing?
Let's go sandwiches.
All right. You know how the game is played, Justin. Let's do this. They polled a lot of people, man, to find the best sandwiches in the United States of America. We have 22 of them. 22 sandwiches for you to choose from. So you know how the game is played. Try to get as many right before 3 strikes and you're out.
Classic PB&J.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. There's one that's all right. Think about you're going to a restaurant. You're getting a sandwich.
All right, as I say, we got to set this up. Right, so this is a list of, like, restaurants. People have been to these places.
It's not the restaurant itself, but the sandwiches they would offer at your average restaurant.
I'm just saying, he's not, like, I get where he's coming from of just 10 most popular sandwiches.
And Justin, just so you know, you're right.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Okay.
What about a Reuben?
What about a Reuben at number 8? There you go.
God, I love a Reuben, man.
Me too. And you can't find one around here.
Cut it.
Well, we can get a tatstrami.
That we just had one last week.
That has coleslaw on instead of
I like the one at the Irish pub you go to.
Oh, it's
yeah, there's some good ones.
That place.
Yeah. All right, Reuben's on there. I would think steak and cheese would be on there, or cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak.
Yeah, let's go Philly cheesesteak.
That's number 3. That
Do you
is
have
number
the places,
3.
by the way?
What's that?
Do you know the places? Did they say where they got the Reuben?
Oh well,
Ted wants
it was,
to
you know
know.
what? It was a bunch of it was a bunch of different people, so it wasn't just one particular person. But yes, they bring up Philadelphia, the local haunts, the ones you know, Pat and G knows.
All right.
Yeah. They also rated the best cheesesteaks at restaurants and higher end places. So believe it or not, Jersey Mike's does very well.
I have not had their cheesesteak.
On the list of their cheesesteaks. They do well.
Cheesesteak is awesome.
Yeah, Ruth's Chris.
I hope so.
Well, they did very well as well. I mean, those kind of. There's not a lot of chains that have a cheesesteak. You'd be shocked. All right, so you're 2 for 22 there, Justin. You got one strike against you.
Alrighty. Let's go with a club sandwich.
A club sandwich.
Really?
No.
Well, man, I don't know, because I was going to say like the classic BLT, right? It's popular. It's not my thing, but I don't like lettuce and tomato.
Maybe a po' boy would be on there. I'm trying to think of sandwiches you bite into and you go, damn, this is good.
Correct.
Barbecue sandwich.
We have a restaurant. We have a restaurant in town that serves one of these sandwiches, and they've been known for years,
Cuban,
as having one of the best ones outside of the area where you traditionally get them.
Let's go for it. Cuban it is.
Yep, number 5 on the list, the Cubano.
Ooh, somebody here says the French dip, which I agree. If you do it well.
There's a place in California that's like famous for that, right? So yeah, French dip.
French dip's on the list, number 18 on the list.
Does that count?
Yeah, I'm going to give anything out of the 22. Because these are so crazy.
Right.
All right, I would still lean towards the po' boy and maybe an Italian submarine or hero, whatever they want to call it, Italian sub.
Grinder sub, hero.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, let's go Grinder.
Grinder number 20. Submarine, hoagie, hero, grinder, whatever you call it. So far right now, Justin, let's see. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're halfway to home. You have 2 strikes against you, though.
How are we feeling about like a lobster roll?
I don't know, because it's specific, but it doesn't mean it's bad.
Look, specific really works in this category.
All right, go lobster roll.
Lobster roll it is.
Number 9.
All right.
That's the 9th most.
Do they
and by the way,
which
it's very.
version?
It's as far as being like.
Ted, they're being general. I know how you are. These people.
There's a Maine version and there's a Massachusetts version.
Well, there's one with mayonnaise. There's ones with butter.
Right.
Okay. All right. By the way, this is coming in from the text, Justin. Take it as you will. A lot of people are saying the Monte Cristo. Ooh. And don't forget grilled cheese, brother. The classic.
Oh, Monte Cristo, definitely. Let's go for that.
Nah.
What?
You're out, Justin.
Justin, I'm sorry,
You're
man.
halfway to home.
By the way, Justin, just so you know, you might not have gotten it right here, but I agree with your sandwich choice, bro.
All right, guys, you want to fill in the blanks here? You want to come up with a few guesses?
Grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese is number 6, Steve.
BLT.
BLT down the list.
Wow. Good. It shouldn't be.
These are specialty sandwiches available. Okay, Chicago, guys. Let's just get it done.
Italian beef.
Italian beef, number 4. New Orleans, Ted.
Oh, boy.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Muffalata.
Muffalata at number 22. North Carolina.
Pulled pork sandwich.
Pulled pork, number 20. Buffalo.
Chicken wing sandwich.
Buffalo chicken sandwich.
Oh, the beef on whack.
Number 19.
I like this game.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Primanti Brothers.
Primanti Brothers. West Virginia.
Pepperoni roll.
No.
Oh.
Breakfast.
Oh, Christ.
You're breakfast sandwich king?
Sausage, egg, and cheese? Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Croissant.
Biscuits.
Biscuits. Okay.
Pastrami on rye.
Pastrami on rye is great. That's probably in New York. Carnegie Deli.
Hot brown.
Yep, from Kentucky.
Hot brown, number 13. I'm giving up 12 and 11 because it's a hot dog and a hamburger, but most people.
Yeah, I mean that. Right.
New Jersey.
Not a cheesesteak.
Fried, filleted. Your favorite.
Chicken parm.
No,
the fish. Is it the fish?
No, it's a roll.
Oh, Taylor.
Taylor.
Pork roll, egg, and ham.
There you go.
Shout out to whatever that band
Steve,
is.
you eat one 5 days a week, every day in front of me.
Smoked salmon on a bagel.
I consider it a sandwich, number 7.
All right.
Here you go on the top 22 best sandwiches in America. 22 a muffalata,
right.
21 pulled pork sandwich, 20 is the submarine hoagie, 19 beef on weck, 18 the French dip. We missed the roast pork sandwich.
All right.
At 17.
Yeah, that's like Philly too.
Permane Classic at 16. Breakfast biscuit, 15. Pastrami on rye, 14. The hot brown comes in at 13. 12, the hot dog. 11, the hamburger. Bologna Taylor ham sandwich at 10. Followed by 9, lobster roll. 8, Reuben. 7, bagels and lox. 6, grilled cheese. 5, the Cubana. 4, Italian beef. 3 is the cheesesteak. 2, the po' boy. And you guys missed number 1. The best sandwich that anyone's had in the United States. Whether you like it Nashville, whether you like it plain,
Chicken sandwich.
The fried chicken sandwich.
And it's a good sandwich.
I can't argue with people on that. That's a good call.
You can't.
That was number 1.
You want the fried chicken, you want the bread, whatever you put on top is your own business.
Shot of the day's coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Getting older means a world of change, but some things still stay the same, like being at risk for type 1 diabetes, because type 1 can happen at any age. So screen it like you mean it. If just one person in your family has type 1, you're up to 15 times more likely to get it too. And 50% of type 1 diagnoses happen after the age of 18. So screen it like you mean it. Type 1 diabetes starts long before you need insulin, and one blood test could help you spot it early and lower the risk of serious complications like diabetic ketoacidosis, known as DKA. So don't get caught by surprise. Screen it like you mean it, because getting answers now can help you get prepared. The more you know, the more you can do. So don't wait. Talk to a doctor about how to get screened. Tap now or visit screenfortype1.com to learn more. Again, that's screenfortype1.com. And screen it like you mean it.
Transit is better with an Orca card. Here's why. 1. It's easy. Just tap and pay your way onto Metro and all other public transit around the Sound. 2. Your tap shows us when and where you're riding the most, so Metro can serve you better. And 3. Orca cards are for everyone. 18 and younger now ride free with a free youth Orca card. So what are you waiting for? Get an Orca card, tap for transit, and make your ride count today. Visit kingcounty.gov/tap for transit.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Small, clean
Nothing
up.
wrong with that, man.
We're talking,
the older you
7,
get,
8
man.
inchers.
7.
Look at the size of that bad boy.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about what you think we are.
That's right.
No, we are not.
Coming up on Drink and Toast for the shot of the day, we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, a quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. Hybrid workers say they pay about $36 more if they work from the office versus home.
Yeah, because they make you pay for parking.
That's pretty much what they're talking about. They said there's food that they're buying, there's parking that they got to pay for, there's just the cost of commuting alone.
Like I said, if I were the president of the United States, all the cultural crap people are mad about, stay mad about it. Don't care. But if you have a job, you would never have to pay for parking for the luxury of quote unquote being at work.
Right.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. What is it, $360 a month to park in this parking garage?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I'm like, you realize, like, just to come into work, to do the thing you asked us to do, and it's not the company charging us, it's a different thing, but still, cover it. Mm-hmm. Cover people's, that's ridiculous.
You'd think.
Yeah, and it's like not only that, but it's like a special thing, like, all right.
We covered your park.
Yeah.
Mofo, I'm coming into work.
That's
I'm making
perk.
you money. It's not a perk. I mean, that should be built in. No one should have to pay money to park their vehicle to go to work.
Like when I worked at the AFL, right? Because like if I worked day shift, you have to park all the cars.
Yeah.
That was more of just how long people had been there and if there were spots available.
Sure.
But it was a massive deal if somebody left one of those good jobs. It'd be like, who's going to get that spot?
Yeah, if there's not spots available, I get it. That's one thing. But if there are, which there are because no one goes to work anymore,
Right.
Like, pay for it. Mm-hmm. That's all. Mm-hmm. That person actually just gave themselves a raise, whatever, 360, right? You gave yourself like what, $10,000, $11,000 a year raise, without the company actually spending an extra dime to pay them that.
Right?
Come on, man.
Yeah, you'd think. There's a man on TikTok trying to drink 2,000 pints of beer in 200 days.
Yeah,
There's
I've seen
goals.
this guy. Well, he's trying to bolster the economy in England.
Is that what it is?
Is that what
I mean, that's what he said. And
because he's married.
And it kind of became a personal challenge. I listened to him today. He said he had to average 5.4 pints at night.
Oh, I can do that.
But he's averaging 5.7. And then and this must have been for the weekend. He's like, but Saturday and there's football on. So I'll probably put down 9 or 10.
There you go.
I think it would be tough on Monday and Tuesday, maybe. But you're right. 5 beers, no health concerns.
Well,
I could do it every night.
It's not hard Monday or Tuesday. It's difficult Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning. But if it's just beer you're doing and not hard liquor, this is coming from a drinker, you're all right. If I'm quote unquote hungover on beer, it's how heavy my body feels.
Sure.
It's like being 200 feet underwater, but mentally, you're still there. All that. You just feel heavier, you're slower. Whiskey changes things a bit, but otherwise, like, man, it can be done.
Right. Because it is 2,000 pints in 200 days. That averages out to 10 pints a night or 10 pints a day. Now, yes, he's splitting it up because there's going to be days where he wants to drink more, and there's days that he wants to drink less. So that makes sense that he's going to kind of shift how that works. But I would think 10 beers in a day,
easy.
That shouldn't be. I mean, you're getting after it, but as long as you just kind of get it throughout the day, you'll be all right.
But what are you drinking? My wife tells me, and she's very
Michelob Ultra.
She goes, look, I buy an 18-pack of light stuff, Pacifico.
Sure.
Right? She goes, because it's not your favorite. I said, right, but I drink it anyway. She goes, right, but you don't drink as many because it's not your favorite, but you'll drink it straight. And then I'll get a 6-pack of IPA.
There you go.
But I'll always drink the 18-pack first and save the last 6.
Sure.
So those last 6 hit on Super Bowl Sunday, on football Sunday.
Yeah.
Hopefully after the Ravens have played, depending on my mood.
Excellent.
And sadly, I'm not even kidding. I will gauge how many IPAs I drink based on the Ravens' victory or loss. Like last week when they lost to Pittsburgh, I was pissed. Jeez. I'm going to drink Pacifico.
Right. Yeah, and I'm with you. IPAs do a little tougher.
Damn.
I know one bartender that knows me. He's always like, if I go in for like lunch, he'll be like, "We're gonna start with 1 or 2 IPAs and then light beer." I'm like, "Yes,
you got it."
I do the opposite. I go light first, and then one big one at the end.
But just a couple shots in there,
Never. No, I don't like that. It ruins my palate.
Taco Bell is testing crispy chicken nuggets.
Taco Bell?
Taco Bell.
Why not? Do it.
I read a review on it and said they were just not as crispy on the outside, but the chicken quality on the inside was better.
Well, and they're the same parent company as KFC, aren't they? So I don't think that they've got,
it's right there.
It is.
They have it. I mean, the one I go to in Soto is exactly KFC, Taco Bell.
And that's a great combo.
Yes, it is.
That was one of my favorite combos going through college because there was one over in Covington. I used to hit that thing all the doggone time.
My problem with none of us are healthy. What flavor of unhealthy do you want? We're here for you.
Well, the problem with those combo places is that KFC does not open for lunch. So they open at 10. I mean, they're open for lunch, but not breakfast.
Right.
So Taco Bell introduces all these new cool breakfast things.
Yeah.
But they don't open up for the breakfast in that location because of the fact that, they're enjoying with the KFC.
Exactly. I did not know that was a thing. And my wife and I, it was probably 15 years ago, flew back to PA, her home state. And we're driving up because there's no airports closed. Mm-hmm. And it was AM, PM, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and something else. And I about lost my mind. I was like, let's stop the car. And the beauty was Dairy Queen. And we could just drive around the perimeter, right, and order the takeout drive-thru at each place. Mm-hmm. And it was so cool to have that variety pack. It's like going to the food mall or the food court at Knoll Mall.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of each thing you like. And I'm not even kidding. To me, it's like poor man's tapas.
Hell yeah.
We got a little bit of mix and match.
Look out.
Let's throw down.
I dig it, man. That's just one invention.
What? I've been to one of those KFCs on New Year's Day, right? And me and the girl I was with, we had a long night. We're hungover, and we ordered, what was it? I think we were ordering KFC, and they were like, it's going to take like 10 minutes to make a bucket of chicken. And I was like,
okay,
no problem. We'll take 4 soft tacos.
While we wait. Good work. But there's just one invention that's supposed to change the world, though it's probably not going to. In fact, there's a whole lot of inventions that were made and they were supposed to make big change and they just fell flat. And luckily for us, there's an entire Reddit thread.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 inventions that were supposed to change the world, but didn't. Dare I say, Facebook didn't change the world.
Yeah, it did.
All it did was show us in a nanosecond just how self-absorbed, gullible, and pathetically pathetic we are. Oh, and tracking down that girl Tammy from 6th grade. Not worth it.
Yikes.
There's good and bad to everything, BD. Mm-hmm. So these are inventions that were supposed to change the world, but didn't. One user says, smart cars. Says they were supposed to be the next big thing that would save everyone tons of gas. Everyone yawned and went back to their SUVs. The only smart cars to see around seem to be rolling billboards for mom and pop businesses.
Oh, like the little tiny
actual
ones?
Smart car, yeah.
I do miss car to go. I realize service-wise, there's no way to keep on the road because they're terrible cars.
Yeah. The smart car did not hold up.
No. Well, you had the wrong car.
It's a decent little city commuter, but beyond that...
Yeah, exactly.
You get on the road, man, you feel like you're going to die.
Right.
You feel like you're on a skateboard.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the other thing. They just feel so unsafe.
I felt safer on my scooter on the highway than I did in a smart car.
Right. I feel it. Tablets. Person says, I notice more people use their phones because they serve the same purpose at a better convenience, even in work environments.
Okay, that's fair. I would say the difference is tablets opened up the world to what our phones do now. So at the moment, they were kind of the pivotal thing.
When I watch television in bed, I bring my tablet.
Right.
That way I can just shut it off really quick, go to bed, so it's not the TV's not on.
Sure.
So I use my tablet as my computer at home. I don't print anymore from home. I don't do all that stuff that I used to do. Nope. So to me, it's just like that's the easiest way to get a small screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of stuff on my phone. I still have an old MacBook that I'll use.
Yeah.
But you're right, tablets. Mostly what I see people using tablets for are games and watching stuff.
Exactly.
You know, because it's just big enough to watch or play your games effectively.
Yeah.
So they serve a great purpose.
Also, my eyes, I need to read.
Okay, I'm old. I wasn't going to say that, but yes, there's that too.
Our buddy Eastwood knows all about this. Dirigibles.
What is a dirigible?
A Zeppelin. God damn it, a blimp.
Oh. All right, we'll call it a Zeppelin.
Says they seemed incredible at the time, but they were big, expensive, and couldn't carry much. After a couple of booms, people were over it.
Yeah, when's a good year blimp dropping tires, right?
But, I mean, okay, when dirigibles were popular, the idea of floating in the air to go anywhere was a big deal.
All right.
I mean, it could have been a hot air balloon, a dirigible, an airplane. Planes get you there faster.
Also, only through the jet stream.
Right.
You have to go with it. You can't get back.
Yeah.
These are inventions that were supposed to change the world, but didn't, as according to Reddit, the metaverse. It says, I love how desperate this giant corporation is for us to adapt to it while the world shrugs its shoulders. It says, I don't think anyone but Facebook investors thought that this was going anywhere.
You got to try.
But what's the difference between the metaverse and the average internet? Metaverse, it's just more immersive, right?
That and
you are immersed in the world that you can create.
Sure.
But I think they were kind of banking on people like using it, like buying stuff and selling stuff in the metaverse.
I hear you, but it's the same as the internet, but with more trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, nothing wrong with it. It's a great idea.
I mean, look, tech comes up with unbelievable stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's still amazing they had the technology for it, right? That one, everybody was just kind of like, I don't know if we need this.
Yeah.
I think you need to give a reason for people to want to do it.
3D movies. Says I'm old enough now to have seen 3D come and go multiple times. Yeah. I remember the 3D TVs. We actually had one. Had the glasses on there, and then just the doggone things never worked properly.
Technically, my TV's a 3D TV because that was kind of popular like 10 years ago.
Yep.
But you still have to make entertainment where people want to see it in 3D.
They just don't produce it.
No.
Right, so that's the thing. We have the tech to do a lot of things, but if you don't provide the entertainment value, why would I spend... But as movie theaters have been around for 100 years now.
Yeah.
If you put out a crap movie, people still don't go see it.
I loved seeing the movies that they were clearly trying to kind of pander to the 3D audience, but this was the 2D version.
Right.
And so you see the things like...
See it in 3D.
Right. But then
Same movie.
But then you see the 2D versions like, okay, they did that for the 3D there. You know, where it's clearly reaching out at the audience.
I would say this. Muppets 3D at Disney World is awesome.
Everything at Disney is going to be awesome. Right?
But then the number one invention that was supposed to change the world, but didn't. And it's not that it didn't change it, it just went defunct. Cassettes and VCR. Says, when I was a kid, things that we thought were forever: corded phones, cassettes, VCR, garbage compactors, gas-powered lawn equipment, plug-in drills. In my teens, I couldn't imagine anything replacing CDs for media. Smartphones, the cloud, online digital media, Wi-Fi, and lithium batteries have changed everything.
I would debate that one.
Yeah.
I absolutely would, right? You say VHS. VHS was the first time in human history where you could go back and watch a movie or something you recorded on your own time. They found better ways to do it technically.
Right.
But
that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely set. It's like vinyl. Before vinyl, you could not recreate a musical composition.
Right.
If you were not there for it, you didn't hear it. So things have gone on. Now it's out in the ether, but without that, people couldn't even believe.
Right. It was the stepping stone, is what it was.
Yeah. So
it was the cassette. It was the cassette tape of audio.
Yeah.
You could record and play.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A funeral home employee busted into the home of a recently deceased man that he had just picked up. And the reason why is shocking, Miles.
Why is it so shocking?
Give you all the dirty details at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK.
Therapy is known to be extremely helpful. But have you ever tried eavesdropping on someone else's problems? Listen to the new podcast, Say More, with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler as the world-renowned self-proclaimed couples therapist.
My mother will come over when she says she will. Knowing that she's always going to be there is really nice for me because I don't have to make my own cereal.
Listen to Say More with Dr. Sheila on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm about to call out the two most dreaded words for new dentists: student debt.
I have upwards of $400,000 in loans.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen upon graduation?
Dental Sound Bites.
Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
On Instacart, I can shop a huge selection of pet supplies, from that one brush that scratches him just right, to that extra comfy bed he can't wait to flop down in. And I get everything delivered right to my door in as fast as 1 hour. Okay, settle down. I know it's here. Yes, very exciting. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get a free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply. Instacart. Add life to cart.
Looking to give the gift of pleasure? Add a little high heat to keep the desire burning. Or maybe you just need a little self-care. Come to Lovers for the best lingerie and toys to keep things hot this holiday. Save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow Rewards. Just mention Love20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow Rewards membership until November 30th. Some exclusions apply.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1, exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
Have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve the Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we chose one Brian Mwenda Njagos of somewhere in Kenya. Not sure of the city. Now, up until recently, sadly, Brian worked as a lawyer. In his career, he represented 26 different clients in 26 different cases. What do you think his record was? 26 different clients, 26 different cases. What do you think his record was?
Oh, if it's 0-26, he's bad.
26-0.
Oh,
boom.
The flip.
He won every single case that he ever represented. But in spite of his impressive record, Brian had to step away from his law practice because he wasn't a lawyer. In fact, he had no formal law training at all. Ever. Still, he won every case that he argued in front of 23 different judges. Now, he has since been arrested for impersonating a lawyer, but here's the irony. He'll need to get a lawyer to represent him because the judge will not allow him to represent himself.
Because he's not a lawyer.
No. You can represent yourself in court.
Yeah.
He's too good. Think about it. Look.
That's not a reason to let someone do something.
If he's already been practicing law, that's different.
But here's the judge. The judge is like, look, man. And keep in mind, the judge overriding his case is the judge. He's been in front of this judge several times. And the judge goes, you can't represent yourself because you're too good, which is ridiculous because they'll let an idiot do it. And we hear that all the time. He is 26-0. He has taken down legitimate, quote-unquote, lawyers, taken them to task. They finally figured him out, but the judge will not allow him to represent himself because the judge fears that in spite of the fact that he did break the law, and he did, he will do a good enough job that the judge does not want him to represent him. And look, I'm not about being an imposter, but you kind of go like, hey, man, if you could beat real lawyers, maybe the real lawyers, at least in Kenya, shouldn't go to school and just go, with what you feel in your heart. Anyway, I love this guy. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola, bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please, everyone, now Profile This is played.
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Tony. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Tony, you understand how this here game is played?
I do understand it.
Well, you have your choice of one of three stories. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have Bite Me, in other words, what did somebody find in their food? And finally, Hit Me with Your Best Shot, where you got the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon.
I like the third one.
This one was sent to me by our very own Mike Hawk just this morning. And this is the story, a Louisiana nurse. She survived an attempted stabbing by a, quote, extremely combative and aggressive patient. Officers were dispatched to the Glenwood Regional Health Center's Behavioral Health Unit in reference to a disturbance around 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, upon arrival at the facility, hospital staff told the cops that one Madison Bingham, 19 years old, had been extremely combative and aggressive and toward the staff and made numerous threats. Now, the patient was arrested after a female nurse said that Bingham attempted to stab her. Thankfully, the nurse was able to dodge the stabbing bit. Now, Madison, who lives in Mississippi, she was arrested for simple assault, which is a misdemeanor, and booked into the local parish jail. A probable cause affidavit does not reveal why she was in the hospital or whether the weapon was even seized as evidence, but that begs the question, what was the weapon that was used in this case? Was it a pair of tweezers? Was it a spork? Was it a chopstick? Or was it a pencil? Tweezers, spork, chopstick, or pencil, one of these quote-unquote weapons was used in an attempt to stab one of the hospital employees.
Well, I'm going to rule out chopsticks because I don't think they give those to hospital patients, but a spork seems likely, or a pencil to me. So what do you think, Ted?
I mean, I'm thinking just because they're in the hospital, right?
Correct. Yeah, she was at a facility. Yes.
So I'm with you. I feel like this. God damn it, I'm with you. I'm torn between those two, but I'm gonna go spork.
Yeah, it seems more likely that he would have that.
I mean, ask Miles. He's been stabbed with a pencil.
I have, but never a spork because I stabbed my coleslaw with it. I'm going tweezers because it doesn't seem like that would be probable, but I wanted to go spork, but I was trying to change.
I thought you were going pencil.
Look, pencil I've been stabbed with, so I know it's possible. That's why I believe what Tony was saying.
Keep in mind, this person avoided the stabbing.
Right.
They did avoid it.
But still, you have it on hand to use.
Sure.
So a pencil could be a dangerous weapon.
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
I've noticed that when I got stabbed in the back.
I did, and the lead's still in there. Okay, Tony, we're going to find out what it was. Was it tweezers, spork?
Wait, what are you on with, Tony?
I'm going
spork.
You're going spork.
He's
okay.
Spork and spork.
Yeah.
Tweezers, spork, chopstick, or pencil, we're going to find out next.
That was a tease.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories hit me with your best shot on profile list. Louisiana nurse, she survived an attack by a patient at 2 a.m. Tried to stab a nurse before hitting her with an object. Question was she trying to use tweezers, a spork, chopsticks, or a pencil?
Tony, that is the very question that we posed to you. Let us start with Miles Montgomery. You went tweezers.
Seems weird.
It does seem weird because they're all stupid, but it was not tweezers.
That would hurt.
It would hurt. Either way, keep in mind, she was not officially stabbed. She did dodge the parry of the stabbing utensil, and I asked you what you thought it was. You agreed with D. Ted Smith, and you guys both went spork.
Spork!
If I'm going to be stabbed by any of those, I would take a spork.
Basketball.
And
volleyball.
Not just a spork, Tony, a plastic spork.
Volleyball. Sports.
A plastic spork.
I mean, she's going like jail inmate at that point.
Yeah, that's like, come on, man. Come on.
Man. Now for all TV news, all time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, Miles, your choices today. You got the Jimmies.
Calvin Kibble.
Seth Meyers.
Okay.
Weekend Update. Bill Maher. Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right, that's how all these guys have teams of talents and writers go over their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Researchers have finally solved the timeless mystery of what's in the core of the moon. Someone has to tell them, cool, now do Subway tuna.
Seth?
Bill Maher.
That is Bill Maher.
All right.
Now that researchers were able to finally solve the timeless mystery of what's in the core of the moon, someone must tell them, cool, now do Subway tuna.
Don't care. Stand by it. Alaska Airlines says it's created a new coffee blend for passengers that tastes better when the plane is in the air, while Spirit Airlines has created a special moonshine they give out when they have to land upside down.
Seth.
SNL. Weekend Update.
Alaska Airlines says it has created a new coffee blend for passengers that tastes better when the plane is in the air, while Spirit Airlines has created a special moonshine they give out when they have to land upside down.
At least 20 times, a 50-year-old man in Spain has been arrested after he faked a heart attack to get out of paying his restaurant bill. And somewhere in heaven, Fred Sanford smiled.
The Ted Smith.
Yep. That's me.
Yeah.
It's the only fake heart attack joke I think of that wasn't dark.
Wheezy! And it's from the 70s.
I know. Well, technically, Doug did it once on The King of Queens.
50-year-old joke.
Did he?
Yeah, and I think Costanza had one, but I don't know. I feel like Fred Sanford's
the big one.
famous for it. Jeff Bezos just bought his Florida neighbor's mansion for $79 million. Jeff Bezos is the only person who sees an $80 million mansion and goes, closet?
SNL.
Fallon.
Fallon.
I heard that Jeff Bezos just bought his Florida neighbor's mansion for $79 million. Jeff Bezos is the only person who sees an $80 million mansion and goes, closet?
Jada Pinkett Smith reveals that she and her husband, Will Smith, have actually been separated since 2016. Ironically, after he suggested she star in G.I. Jane 2.
SNL.
That is SNL.
Jada Pinkett Smith reveals that she and husband Will Smith have actually been separated since 2016. Ironically, after he suggested that she should star in G.I. Jane 2.
Now, sorry, that's it. Forgot to tap the quarterback. most people would, you know Suzanne Summers from a lot of things. All right. All the TV shows, movies, this and that. I obviously was a big fan of hers. Whenever we talked about women, I would always put her high on the list. And I'm not even kidding. Like literally Saturday night, I was listening to some records, having a gin Ricky with a couple.
What is a gin Ricky?
Really?
Yeah.
What's a gin Ricky?
Gin, soda water, lime juice. Fresh lime juice.
How old are you?
Well, the second round, I put a little Saint Germain in there.
I thought I was older than you, but apparently I'm wrong by 30 years.
Yeah.
What's that, a Basset Hound?
No, it's a
Saint Germain.
I believe it. Is it a hibiscus? No, not.
It's. I know
You
what
have
you're
this
saying.
at your home?
No, my friends do.
Okay, I was like, who are you? What happened?
Yeah. And then I loaded
you got a tiki bar now?
Then I loaded my pipe with sweet tobacco.
Sale.
But no, we were sitting around and we just started talking about different types of women and this and that. And my buddy's wife was like, "You definitely have a type and this and that." And we talked about Rosie Perez and everything. And she was like, "Nah." And I was like, it's got to be Suzanne Summers. So besides her TV shows, we started talking about the Thigh Master, right? And like, again, I'm going to sound very old and dated, but like teenage boys, if you can hear my voice, or if you're in your early 20s, you don't understand that like it wasn't easy to acquire an adult magazine.
No, it was not.
There was like you could do AB like on your controller to try to get some scrambled stuff, but like.
Are you kidding? I did not know that. Are you serious?
Oh, you can flip back and forth real quick. And you had to put it on a different channel on the VCR on. But there was these infomercials you'd see at night. Like, there's a reason Art Man, I think he's a funny TV host, but I love him. He used to host a show called Wild on E, on E Entertainment.
Yep.
And you could see, like, girls in bikinis and stuff. And the Thigh Master, for me, was kind of one of those things. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I watched that infomercial at night and thoroughly thought this is great exercise.
Also, with her character,
should have called it Forearm Master.
Like with her, you don't get a lot of personality involved in like for whatever reason, they just never brought that to the forefront as far as the people that you thought were attractive.
It's not yours,
but
nope.
Yeah, but either way, Suzanne Summers had a personality. She was fun.
She did. You knew her.
She was bubbly. She was fun. You knew who she was.
Right,
and some of these other people you didn't know, but Suzanne Summers seemed approachable.
And Suzanne Summers for me was those Thigh Master commercials, and then you'd see pictures of her, but probably more step by step. It was like, man, the mom on that show is unbelievable. So, I'm not trying to like downplay. It's just very ironic, not ironic, bad irony that like we had been having this 30-minute conversation about Suzanne Summers, and then she passed away the next day.
You milesed her.
I kind of did. But either way, she was given an interview years ago kind of talking about Thigh Master and some of the money.
I use the Thigh Master every day of my life. I do 50 in the morning, 50 mid-afternoon, and 50 while I'm lying in bed at night. And I could crack walnuts with my thighs. I live a good life. And 1995 times 10 million. So kind of do the math, and we're probably at 15 million now. We had partners 50-50, and they got drunk on money when it all started selling, and they overspent to the point where they could no longer afford to be in their side of the business. So we bought them out. We have 100%.
Right. I've seen some reports that her and her husband ended up making over $300 million off it.
But they made a ton.
And like it also helps when she's pimping the product and is like, hey, look, I do it. I mean, look, I use it. It helps. And nobody can argue with that woman's body.
But parts. I think that was a lot of her approaches. By the time she did Thigh Master, you're talking about not even older women, because that's not the right term to say, but,
she's probably in her 40s.
Right. But they're worried about it, all this stuff, right? So you're saying that Suzanne Summers, you won't look like her, but she's saying there's just something simple you can do to burn off fat, do your thing. It was a massive seller.
And there's
a
lot of
guys watched the commercials. But overwhelmingly, women bought the Thigh Master.
Right, and there's a lot of commercials.
Like the shake weight.
Right, but the shake weight didn't work. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of infomercials you'll see, right? Like, everybody remembers Set It and Forget It. But to me, the Thigh Master and the George Foreman grill, those are two products that, like, people actually used and would swear by.
And think how simple the Thigh Master was. Resistance.
Well, resistance training's king.
Right. Make the shape that fits your thighs, and then it's resistance. So there's no way it doesn't work, but she was smart enough to get aligned with that.
Also, Three's Company, one of the best shows of my era growing up that involved physical reactionary comedy.
I agree. Absolutely.
Whether it was Mr. Roper, Mr. Furley, Ritter doing his thing.
And she was great on that show.
Yeah, I mean, they really did a good job of writing that show, and the characters were fun, and it was a fun show to watch, even if, as a kid, I did not get all the sexual innuendo jokes.
That's all that show was. I got none of that. But physically,
it was still
hilarious.
a funny show.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. That show was on right when I was a kid. My parents liked it. It was already a little past. Like, I couldn't understand a lot of it. But, like, right, I remember they always drank the Regal Beagle. And
Beagle.
And the neighbor guy who was kind of sleazy.
Larry.
Yeah, but I remember as a kid.
He has a name, Ted.
He just seemed hilarious.
I
loved him.
He was like the disco king.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk some action from the weekend. First of all, you can't live in Seattle, and I know there's a lot of Cougs here and stuff, without talking about the Washington Huskies.
Oh, Ted.
Unreal. College game day in town. National TV. That stadium sold out. You have celebrities on the sidelines, other radio personalities like ourselves that are national. I saw Count Cowherd was there. There's a ton of people there. And then one of the greatest games I have watched in a very long time. Huskies win. That's a massive hurdle. You still got to win the rest of the games, but they're in the driver's seat.
But it lived up to its billing as well, where you can build and we know how it goes. You're going to build up anything because you want people to watch. A lot of time it fails. This game legitimately was what people said it would be.
I'll also say this. You asked if we got up Sunday morning to watch the Ravens.
Correct.
That was early. That was a 6 o'clock game.
It was 6:30.
Yes, whatever. 6:30 on Saturday morning, and the place was packed.
Correct.
And I mean, that was early too. And you could see Pat McAfee. I don't think he was effed up or hungover. I just think he legitimately was tired from having to get up. All those guys that are coming to the West Coast, that's an adjustment. Then you have to wake up super early.
Right, because they don't just show up. Right, the show starts at 6 a.m. for us on the West Coast. They don't show up at 6 a.m.
No.
I bet he had to be on set by 5.
Right. And that's a time change to fly out.
Right. So
those guys were hurting.
And they had only flown, like, I know McAfee was here in town on Friday as he did his show from Husky Stadium. So it's like, right, they'd only been out here for like a day or two. That is different. And actually, it is kind of wild when they do it on the West Coast because, I mean, most of the show is in the dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, just if you're a Husky fan, that
also,
is unbelievable.
Joel McHale ripped.
Oh my God!
Are people shocked by that?
I am not. He played college football. He played college football in Washington, but he's also 15 years removed from that. Right. I'm not saying he doesn't have the time to work out. He was a wide receiver, but about cuss.
He was a tight. I thought he was tight. Either way, I'm just saying, Joe McHale to me every time I see him has a very strong jawline.
He brought that
people
dog.
seem shocked that he's that ripped, and I'm like, it's Joe McHale.
But he brought that dog out. Man, that dog just hung with him the entire time.
I'll just say this, man. Credit to the Huskies, man. You played a big game. I don't care what you're going to say after the game. You got to toe the company line. Everybody does. But you were nervous about the game. You were also fired up about the game. And so was Oregon. And in the end, man, you pulled out one of the best victories in this school's freaking existence, man.
Yeah, and the nerves thing, like, I know back in the day it was like everybody can be confident. If you're not nervous before you're going into a monster sporting event,
you don't understand what you're doing.
Right, at that point, I'm with you. Either you need to go see the doctor's son or something's wrong with you. I mean, that's kind of the excitement, right? I mean, look, even for us, right, like, obviously, after a time, you get used to sitting in a studio doing a show.
Sure.
But you talk about pain in the grass or a live day or something, like, I still get butterflies. It's part of the reason I love doing this job, because you want to get those butterflies and then get over that hump of being like, no, I'm comfortable up here. So, I mean, that's what, when you see Penix, I mean, God, that team's so good. Rome, all those, he had a hell of a day. But those guys, that's what makes people go to that upper echelon. I mean, even Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady thrives on those nerves. Yeah. But also, he was really good at getting through them.
But here's the thing, and I would say this to Oregon as well. Look, Ducks, I'm glad we beat you. Make no mistake about that. But that said, you also showed up.
Oh, that's a great football team.
You don't roll over. You're a fantastic football team, and they proved that they're a fantastic football team. You fell this time, right? The Dogs beat you. That's just how it went. One of you was going to win, but, man, to both of those teams, both of those coaches and all the players, and you're young men. You are young men. I know I'm old, so I sound like curmudgeon-y, and I am curmudgeon-y. You're not wrong. But, man, outstanding work, outstanding discipline, outstanding play on both sides. Someone had to win. I'm just glad it worked in the favor of the team I was supporting. But that was a brilliant game, and it was a national stage for a change for the Pac-12.
The big thing we've learned over this weekend, and now I'm going to switch into Seahawks a little bit here too, but we saw it with the Ducks, and it cost them, right? You see it, the Seahawks did it. I think we should have got it. Put points on the board.
What did I say last week about my Ravens?
When you could score 3 points, your defense, especially Seahawks.
And don't take those points off the board if you have that opportunity.
Yeah, so the Ducks, I mean, look, let's be honest. If the Ducks had put up those 3 at the end of the first half, it's a completely different ballgame. But
game.
you see a lot of that stuff over the weekend.
I say this all the time.
Go ahead.
Any sport that is not golf where you want the lowest score, if it's an accumulation of points, and to me, when they say, get back to fundamentals, okay, coaches, fundamentals, you win by having the most points. When you can get the points, accumulate them. When you choose not to, I think you can say, I'm sending this message to believe in my team. I think as a coach, you have to say, it ain't about you. It's about the franchise. It's about get the points. Get the points.
Yeah, I mean, it's a coaching philosophy. Like, Lennon goes for it a lot. I get it. I'm just saying, myself, when it happened, I was watching with some other Husky fans. I said, I would have put up those points. But either way, great weekend of football. The NFL was out of its mind yesterday. I was pissed about the Seahawks loss, but then the Niners lost.
Oh, you didn't read the script?
Then
they put it on the script weeks ago.
Cardinals lost?
Well, you know,
come on.
Cardinals
that's not any part of
That's
the
not
script.
shocking.
Right.
I'm talking about,
I'll take as far as the division
I'm talking about good teams.
Yeah.
The Eagles lost. That was wild. Also, some crazy games Saturday on college football. I was at like a little kids party, so I didn't see a ton of it. Maryland sucks. But there were some great finishes there, and that's coming off Friday night. That Colorado game, when they blew that lead to Stanford, was unreal.
They were skunked in the first half, weren't they?
It was 29-0.
They had no points.
Yeah, 29-0.
Did you hear Deion's speech to him afterwards?
I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, he laid it down.
Monday Night Football.
I'm not a good coach.
You got the Chargers hosting the Cowboys.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to Men's Room.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Researchers suggest the best way to wake up in the morning is a little extra creamer. Meanwhile, a mother of 4 is upset with a parking space beside her and decides to ruin someone's Beamer. $1.5 million in cocaine found in a man's wheelchair. A woman calls in fake shooting as her friend she wanted to spare. And a funeral home director handles another lifeless body. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, our top story, we go to Nebraska, where a man just couldn't help himself. He's the funeral home worker and is in charge of picking up the recently deceased to bring them in. But on his latest job, he took a look around the apartment of the dearly departed and found a very personal item, a decked-out life-size sex doll. Seizing opportunity after recovering the body, he called the property manager and claimed the police wanted the doll for evidence.
The guy died of a heart attack. The doll was laying beside him in his bed.
Gotcha.
He was intertwined with the doll when they picked him up.
Yes. Despite the manager denying the request, the employee still busted in the apartment and had himself a good time with the toy. But was ultimately caught by the very property manager that he tried to fool. He's been fired from his position and now faces charges. Yeah, the property manager walked in on him with his, quote, clothes looking disheveled.
Just for the record, if I die unexpectedly, don't tell my family about the sex doll and let the coroner have it.
Ted, I would say this. You could die unexpectedly, and even if you weren't, I'd be like, he was with the sex doll.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
shot of the day.
Is this guy going to be pissed?
Today we trust the Ted Smith, who died doing what he loves. That's what everybody says.
We bring you distressing news that D. Ted Smith passed away. Dude, I heard he was entwined with his sex doll.
So we pour this booze.
Oh, damn. Just don't give it back to my family is the point.
Right.
Just let the coroner have it.
Let him have it.
Let somebody else have it. Help bring it into work.
Whatever he wants to do.
Does your family want? I pass this down to my oldest child. Here's the sex doll I died having sex with.
And delete Ted's browser history.
Ooh, I would ask them to do that.
Mine's the worst because of work.
Oh, no, we're going to read yours on the shot of the day, Mr. Hill.
Mine?
Yeah,
It'd be less exciting than you think. It would mostly be work-related, but it sounds...
Is that what you want us to think?
Both.
I think the frequency that he went on these websites is disturbing. My God, 3 times in one day, sir.
Mine's for Dirty Big Dummy, like names of porn stars, all this weird stuff that pops up when I go to like
yours might be the
look
worst.
For something normal.
Right?
I'm like, oh my God, Dirty Townsend.
Do you stay synced in all the time?
I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll search history on your phone.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh no, I don't really go. I mean, mostly it's work. But it's still in Google, so no matter what.
Oh, yeah. We can find out. We'll find out.
In other news, odd story out of the UK. A mother admits that she doesn't quite know what came over her in the parking lot of a local grocery. She had finished shopping with her kids and had loaded them and her groceries into the car when she decided that she just wasn't happy with how close the car next to her was. Letting the intrusive thoughts win, she took her keys in hand and had at the car, running scratches all along it that totaled roughly 1,000 British pounds. After she was approached by authorities, she denied the incident until she was shown CCTV footage of the parking lot, which is when she came clean. She's been ordered to pay damages and court costs. As well as she's like on a probationary period for 18 months or something like that.
And her kids were in the car.
Yes.
Because they parked too close.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
4 of them.
There are a lot of things that get on people's
I don't
nerves.
know why I did it. It's like,
Let's get
I
it together.
We
do.
why you did it.
Because you're a petty bitch. That's why you did it, man.
Here's a Tesla. I'm going to roll cool.
Right.
It's not being mean. That's the truth of who you are.
Right.
Get it together. You're not an adult who's, quote unquote, as the younger kids say, adulting.
Also, we know that you scratched his car. No, I didn't. Okay, well, that's now extra charges. Congratulations. Don't tell me you didn't do something. I'm here. I know you did it. That's why I'm here.
Here's the video footage. It's like those commercials during football season where it's like, should we do the replay?
Right? God, I want that.
Those commercials are so awesome.
Yeah, no, you're
that,
guilty.
dude.
Do we have to go? Okay, let's go down this road.
Son of a gun. Down in Utah for
You said you didn't care about dinner. Whatever I wanted.
B. Ted Smith.
You don't want to watch football with them.
I feel like a lot of dudes would be undefeated in challenges.
Damn straight.
And then
Bro, if we had that, I mean, you can't get mad at me about a goddamn thing.
Either that or we'd be showing just exactly what we do forget all the damn time.
No, there's a difference. Are we disputing this because you're denying it, or are we disputing it because I don't remember? I believe you. Sure. I don't remember. You are saying you did not say and or do this. I would be 100% with challenge flag.
Right.
There we go.
Exactly. Men's Room Sports. Ew. We got a little Monday Night Football action over on ESPN and ABC. The Dallas Cowboys are in L.A. taking on the Chargers. I don't know how that one's going, and I don't know if anybody in this room would possibly know, but maybe you do there at home. MLB
if I had
playoffs.
to guess, it's 7 each. But I don't know.
That'd be a good guess. MLB playoffs did continue today with the Texas Rangers in Houston for Game 2 of the ALDS. And Texas takes the series 2-0 in Houston, which is shaping up for them looking good as we go and take the series
2-0
on over to Arlington to go see how that one goes. And then going on right now, the Arizona Diamondbacks are in Philadelphia for Game 1 in their series. Currently, the last time I checked, in the third inning, Philadelphia was up 3-0 in that one. So that's how that's shaping up on over there. And that is it for your sports and your headlines. With that, Mike.
Whoa!
Thank you, brother. We appreciate it. Lovely Taryn Daly is up next.
In the meantime, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
Getting older means a world of change, but some things still stay the same, like being at risk for type 1 diabetes, because type 1 can happen at any age. So screen it like you mean it. If just one person in your family has type 1, you're up to 15 times more likely to get it too. And 50% of type 1 diagnoses happen after the age of 18. So screen it like you mean it. Type 1 diabetes starts long before you need insulin, and one blood test could help you spot it early and lower the risk of serious complications like diabetic ketoacidosis, known as DKA. So don't get caught by surprise. Screen it like you mean it, because getting answers now can help you get prepared. The more you know, the more you can do. So don't wait. Talk to a doctor about how to get screened. Tap now or visit screenfortype1.com to learn more. Again, that's screenfortype1.com. And screen it like you mean it.
Therapy is known to be extremely helpful. But have you ever tried eavesdropping on someone else's problems? Listen to the new podcast, Say More with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler as the world-renowned self-proclaimed couples therapist.
My mother will come over when she says she will. Knowing that she's always going to be there is really nice for me because I don't have to make my own cereal.
Listen to Say More with Dr. Sheila on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Transit is better with an Orca card. Here's why. 1, it's easy. Just tap and pay your way onto Metro and all other public transit around the Sound. 2, your tap shows us when and where you're riding the most, so Metro can serve you better. And 3, Orca cards are for everyone. 18 and younger now ride free with a free youth Orca card. So what are you waiting for? Get an Orca card. Tap for transit and make your ride count today. Visit kingcounty.gov/tap for transit.